The latest and full reaction once it's over. Plus, can the Aztecs carry the momentum into Friday's matchup with Colorado State? Now live from the San Diego Sports 760 studios, it's Jon and Jim.
All right, San Diego and Southern California, what's going on? This is hour one of Jon and Jim, and we're all watching with a sense of urgency here in the bottom of the seventh inning. I use the urgency word. The Padres scored first. The Cubs, as Jim just told you, hit back-to-back home runs, and this game is on a little bit of a seesaw. 2-1 in the seventh inning, and obviously everyone knows the stat, Jim. We've said it all week long. The game one winners have been almost invincible. I mean, they have been.
Almost. They have been
if you go back to 2020, they haven't. But from 2022 on, the winner of game one in the wild card series is 12-0 in that series, and the Cubs are leading 2-1 in the bottom of the seventh inning. So the Padres still have opportunities in this game, but they squandered some early chances. And right now, that's the difference, Jim. They trail 2-1 in the seventh inning. In this, you can't overstate this. This critically important game one of a best-of-3 series at Wrigley Field. Critically important.
Yes, there has to be, what's the word I'm looking for?
I think it's urgency.
Oh, yeah, urgency. A little urgency to win game one on the road in a best-of-3 wild card series in the new playoff format because of the stat that you just said there, and because the Padres are not a good road team.
Good point.
This year, you know, looking up their season, you see all the series they had against winning teams, right? They're 1-9 in series against playoff teams. Mm-hmm. They're 1-10 in series on the road against just winning teams.
Because that includes the Mets?
Because that includes the Mets. And I looked at all those series. Now, again, it's the postseason. It's not like everything from the regular season correlates into the postseason, but maybe some does. And if they lose game one here, by the way, Mason Miller is just filthy. Ridiculous. I mean, you would have loved to have him in a situation with the lead in this situation, but still, he is phenomenal. What I was going to say is, you look at all the series that they've played over the year on the road against winning teams. Do you know how many times they won? Well, they only won one series, so there's only one time they could have done it. But they didn't win back-to-back games at all on the road versus winning teams this year. Even the series they won against the Brewers, they lost the second game of that series. So not one time this year against winning teams on the road have they won back-to-back games. And if they lose game one here, they will have to do that to win in advance.
Here's what's interesting, and it's a great point. And we're going to, all these things are going to be important as we move ahead here, including these last two innings. Padres pitchers today, Jim, have struck out 12 Cubs in 7 innings. If you would have told me 2 runs through 7, I would have said I have to trust the offense. If you would have told me 2 runs through 7 innings, I would put it on the offense, and that's where I start today. It's not on Pivetta for me allowing back-to-back home runs. It's when you scored earlier and you had a runner at third and Xander Bogaerts had nobody out and didn't score him. And then later, and we can get into the situational hitting. Later in the game, they had a runner at third and 1 out and didn't score. That, to me, those are the 2 missed opportunities if they don't win this game. Now, we could get into Jackson Merrill bunting earlier in this game with a 1-0 lead, but I have circled runner at third, nobody out, winning 1-0, and then later runner at third, 1 out. The lack of situational hitting in those spots, if they lose this game, those are the reasons why they lost this game, not Nick Pivetta.
No, I agree with you. And also, what's been the kind of bugaboo of the Padres this year?
RISP?
No. That is one of them.
Slug?
Yes.
Okay.
Lack thereof, right? Their home run power. Padres put 1 on the board there in the second inning, right?
Yeah, double, which is good.
He didn't score there after Bogaerts gets the third and there's no outs. What do the Cubs do? Back-to-back homers. It just shows you that you need to hit some home runs. I'm not saying you have to be this home run hitting team come postseason time, but you're going to need some slug, dude. You're going to need some pop. Mm-hmm. I mean, how many times in this game have we seen a ball off of the bat of a Padre player that we're like, that's gone, and it just gets to the warning track?
3 times.
Yeah.
I've counted 3 times where I thought a ball might go. And truthfully, the second Cubs home run from Kelly, I didn't think was going to go. And it did get out.
Yeah.
And It's crazy. Like, this is what Jeff Passan, we played it yesterday, said. He's like, the issue with the Padres is that in the postseason, the team that hits more home runs does win games traditionally.
Yeah.
And I hate to boil it down to something that's simple, but we're watching a game that the difference is the solo home run.
It's not over yet.
No, the difference.
Oh, yeah,
the difference is the solo home run. You're right. I mean, we're only in the 8th inning. Here's the thing. Everyone's talked about the Padres bullpen being a strength, and it is.
Yeah.
What we haven't talked a lot about is the Cubs bullpen, which is 8 up and 8 down here today after Matt Boyd went just 4 1/3 innings. So there's been a lot of talk about the Padres bullpen. Can the Padres score off the Cubs bullpen?
We'll see. Now, the players that the pitchers that the Padres have faced so far have been nasty for the Cubs. We'll see what happens here in the 8th and the 9th. But look, you have the top of the order coming up here, and you look at this game. I don't know, man. I think they're going to need to have someone just be like, oh, I'm going to hit a home run here.
I'm just going to take matters into my own hands.
Yeah.
I agree.
Like, they've already shown that, with runners in scoring position, it's difficult. And at some point, you're going to need someone to just be like, look, I'm hitting a home run here, or I'm hitting a 2-run bomb, or just, getting the easy run instead of trying to go base to base here and try to put a run on the board.
It's so much harder, to your point. And I want to say maybe Jesse Rogers told us this from ESPN. He's on the call with Kevin Brown, who used Jim's stat. The story of the day, Brett.
Yes.
If anyone listened to our interview yesterday with Kevin Brown, who's on the call, Kevin in the top of the 4th inning just randomly throws in there, the Padres are 1-9 in series against playoff teams in 2025.
Whoa!
First of all, you didn't credit Jim, and I texted you.
Well, the thing was, the second he said it, Padres laid down a bunt.
Yes.
And so they had to go back to the action. So it wasn't like after that, he was like, oh, by the way, the stat I just said, I was on the radio in San Diego yesterday.
You made it, though. Like,
I did.
How often would we credit Jim in any area involving a statistic or something factual?
I could pull out some statistics for you.
I know, but like, very rarely are we going to believe anything that you say, like, from a statistical standpoint.
But they would have probably gave John the credit, though, not Jim.
That would have been amazing.
Right.
I was on with
Jon Schaefer.
Yeah, minor league for Jon Schaefer's show, the Jon Schaefer show.
I'd be like, what?
All right, so we were somewhere before we mentioned Kevin Brown. Well, we're here watching this game.
I'll tell you this right now.
It's going to be very hard until this game ends.
Yeah. The first hour of the show, whenever this game ends, I mean, we're in the top of the 8th inning. Yeah, you're not going to get like the deepest in-depth conversations going on right now.
Well, Jim's not going to be able
to
fully talk coherently during the game. Now, do we usually talk coherently?
No. Not
necessarily. By the way, Fernando Tatis Jr. today is hitless in this game. He has been as good of a playoff performer as there's been in modern baseball.
Well, now would be a good time for playoff Toddy to show up.
Jinx, but you're right. They still have to go through this top of the order again. San Diego's going to get all their top 4 or 5 hitters up to the plate again. And Tatis goes 0 for 4.
I mean, you might want to swing the bat.
Tatis is 0 for 4 and struck out looking, and there are 2 outs in the top of the 8th inning. The Padres, Jim, I mean, first of all, this game's been 2 hours old. And secondly, they're 4 outs away from losing game 1.
First game of the day, 2-1 Tigers.
What carries the day?
What do you mean?
The pitching does.
Yep.
I mean, what carries the day this time of year? Do you want the offense? Do you want the pitching? I mean,
but
they had the pitching.
Has the Padres pitching been bad? It was 2 pitches.
Has not been bad.
Nick Pivetta, before those 2 home runs, was rolling.
Yeah, but other than that, Mrs. Lincoln.
I know.
It still counts.
I know.
You're not
going to take those runs off the board.
Here's the thing. You can live with the solo home run. You can't live with not coming through with a runner on third and nobody out.
Yeah, and that's what they'll look back at if they do not pull out this game today. That's exactly what they're going to look at.
Yeah, exactly. So, again, it's a 1-run game. This would be, by the way, to come back and win this game from this point. To come back and win this game
would be massive.
Would be one of their bigger wins in postseason history because you'd be overcoming an 8th inning deficit or later. It'd be a massive win.
I can't remember the last time. And her eyes just flat out. I can't remember the last time in recent memory
came back late to win a playoff game.
I remember one. It was at home though, and it was against the Dodgers.
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
that was it. But that was in the 7th inning. Now they're gonna have to do it in the 9th.
So on the road now, 9th inning, because we're heading to the bottom of the 8th inning. They have to keep it 2-1. If you're watching this game, you have little hope that they're overcoming anything more than 1 run.
Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing about the top of the 9th inning. All right. As long as the Cubs don't extend this lead, You have the right guys up.
3, 4, 5.
You have Manny. You have Merrill. You have Bogarts. That's the right guys you want up. And look, if you go down, then you go down. But you have the players you want in those positions, And I'm thinking, and from the Cubs' perspective, Manny hit a ball really hard in the first inning off of Matthew Boyd.
He's also walked.
But from a Cubs perspective, that's when you want to face Manny. There's nobody on.
He only represents the tie, not the go ahead. But you're right. From a Padres perspective, Machado, Merrill, and Bogarts. Bogarts has been really good.
He's had a really good day.
And really the last 10 days, he's shown something different here. And hopefully they're going to need someone to come up clutch. Like you said, someone's got to run into a ball. Maybe it's a walk and a blast. Maybe it's a blast. You got to find a way to extend this game out. Because again, you go down 1-0 and you don't have Nick Pivetta anymore for the series.
I tell you what, if they do get in a situation where, say, Manny gets on in the 9th inning, like the bunt conversation and the bunt will come back in everybody's minds because Jackson Merrill early in the game when Manny drew a leadoff walk in an inning,
they moved him over. And earlier in the game, Merrill hit that double, scored that run. It's like, I mean, what do you play for there? No, it's fair. No, you can easily argue. Your point is valid. You made it with me off air. You could easily argue for Merrill to swing away there, and we'll never know what would have happened. Could have had a multi-run inning.
Yeah,
we don't know.
And then you look what happened with the Cubs: 2-1, nobody out. Ian Happ, their 3-hitter or 4-hitter, 3-hitter. He grounds into a double play. So I am always on the side of in the middle of your lineup. Those guys don't give up outs there. They're in the middle of your lineup for a reason, to drive in runs, to impact the game. When you just say, hey, give up an out here, you don't think the Cubs are looking at that situation? Jackson Merrill's first at bat of the day hits a double down the right field line. It was a bloop double, but still it's a double. They're like, oh, great, you gave up an out there. I mean.
Better not do in the 9th, trailing by a run with 3 outs to work with. I mean, he better not do it in the 9th.
Well, another key thing here too, we'll get to break. You got to keep it at 2-1.
Have to keep it at 2-1.
You can't go down by more than a run here because it would just feel like insurmountable, right?
As Estrada allows a leadoff single. All right. We will have immediate post-game reaction. We're with you for a watch party until this game ends, and then all the post-game reaction, one place here on Jon and Jim until 6 p.m. We'll hear from Mike Schilt and Craig Counsell and players and more over the course of the next 4 hours. Do not go anywhere. Game 1 of this critical wild card series between the Padres and the Cubs. We've got you covered. This is Jon and Jim. All right, Jon and Jim, San Diego Sports 760. We will have full post-game reaction. Cubs and Padres are in the bottom of the 8th inning. Cubs are leading 2-1 and threatening for more. And a critical wild pitch from Jeremiah Estrada.
Brutal.
Puts the Cubs with 2 in scoring position and only 1 out. So you summed it up perfectly. You can't afford to give up another run here. It's been hard enough to do anything. 1 run's going to be hard enough. 2 runs is going to be even harder, obviously, or more.
Yeah. If you go down by multiple runs here, that kind of feels like game. But look, still got 3 outs to play with. Anything could happen. I'm not going to put a nail in the coffin yet of game 1. But like, look, you have to just in general, you have to capitalize on moments that you need to capitalize on. When you have a runner at third and less than 2 outs, when you have a runner at third and nobody out, like when you have a runner on to lead off an inning and you have your cleanup hitter on bunting him over, like, I don't know about that in the 4th inning, dude.
Nico Horner's sac fly has made it 3-1. I'll tell you what, Jim. We talked about this heading into the series. Jeremiah Estrada has really struggled. And that continued here today. Leadoff single, wild pitch, couldn't get the strikeout. Mr. 13 consecutive strikeouts. I don't know if you realize that. He has done that at one point.
When?
In his career. But the guy that, when he got ahead, would finish everyone off, got ahead 0-2 and didn't finish off the batter.
Yeah, it's brutal.
Sac fly makes it 3-1. Again, is it over? No. You need a base runner and a blast, potentially.
See, that's the thing, too.
In the 9th.
We talked about this. You know, everyone's like, oh, the Padres bullpen is dominant. Let me rewind that a little bit.
Yeah.
Mason Miller is dominant. Okay. Mason Miller in that pen makes everybody else look better when in reality, Jeremiah Estrada has really struggled.
Really struggled, man.
Adrian Morejon, he got out of it, but still, he has not pitched lights out of late.
You're right.
And Robert Suarez, to me, is a wild card. Just, you know, at any moment, he could blow up. So to say that the Padres bullpen has been dominant this year, you're right if you look at the numbers.
Yeah.
But also, the loss of Jason Adam, huge.
Massive, 100% right. And by the way, I'm just trying to pull it up as we did it earlier. Estrada September.
He had like an 8 ERA.
Yeah, I mean, he was really struggling. Now, I don't mind that spot trailing to start the inning with him, but you got to keep it 2-1. Yes, you've used Morejon, you've used Miller, so it makes sense to use Estrada there. You can't go to Suarez there. So I get going to him, but man, he has really reverted here. I mean, it's just been a bad stretch for Jeremiah Estrada. To me, I'm not trusting Jeremiah Estrada in the remainder of the series.
What is Kevin Acee told us all year long, dating back to like June, is that the bullpen is getting taxed like crazy. You look at these guys. You look at these guys and their appearances this season, John.
Good point.
Jeremiah Estrada and Adrian Morejon are at the top of the league in appearances this year. So it's probably no coincidence that those 2 guys are the ones that have struggled down the stretch.
This today was his 78th appearance. Padres never have. Look at recent Padres history. Relievers do not throw in the 70s in appearances in a regular season.
And by the way, if you advance here, right, which is looking like you're gonna have to win 2 straight games on the road at Wrigley potentially. I mean, and Jeremiah Estrada is going to be continued to be used. That number is going to be in like the 90s potentially, depending on how far you go. And is that sustainable for that guy?
It already hasn't been sustainable.
No, it's not.
He has not sustained the success he had in the first half of the year, in the second half of the year. And now the Padres, it's a good thing they have 3, 4, 5. And you have to get a rally from like Machado or Merrill, or you have to do something. You have to show a sign of life. Yeah. And then I think this whole game for the Padres on offense was back-to-back doubles. Right? A Merrill duck snort down the right field line, a well-hit ball by Bogaerts. And that has been it.
That's it.
All day long. When we said that the offense, remember what we said heading into the postseason? We're like, hey, offense looks good. We're like, but does it matter what you did against Arizona at home? No, none of it matters. What matters is what happens here today.
Yeah. And look, barring a comeback in the 9th inning, this has been the Padres on the road all year long.
All year
long.
Especially in game 1s, dude.
Yep. And that's why if they go on to lose this series, which if they don't come back here in the 9th, the dramatic fashion, you know, it's we're going to look back here and say them playing poor down the stretch potentially cost them a lot, because at home, we've seen it all year long. They are night and day a different team at home than they are on the road, and they're showing it again.
52-29 at home. They would have been a somewhat heavy home favorite against the Cubs in this 3-game series. This felt like a coin flip series, even in Chicago. It's not going to feel like a coin flip if you trail 1-0.
Who's pitching game 2 for the Cubs? Is it
Shota?
Is it Shota? Okay.
Yeah. I mean, have they announced it? It's going to be Shota.
I don't think they've announced it, right?
I mean, these lefties against this lefty-heavy lineup, it's good. I would be very surprised.
They have not announced it.
But don't you think it'll be Shota Imanaga?
My guess is yes. And here's another thing, too. And this is all predicated on if the Padres do not come back in the 9th inning, which we're heading to the 9th inning, down by a couple runs, middle of your order up. Your entire season comes down to Dylan Cease, potentially.
And we said, why would you ever trust Dylan Cease with that? Why would you give him the ball with your season on the line?
He's won one road game all year long.
He's been
now. I'm not saying he needs to pick up the win in the postseason. Doesn't matter who gets the win, right?
He could go 3 innings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like, it's not even about that. It's about he's just not pitched well on the road this year. Now, he does have good numbers against the Cubs. And we saw early on in this game how the Cubs struggled against the fastball, especially up in the zone. But, I mean, we've watched Dylan Cease all year long. The guy's susceptible to imploding at any moment. And now your entire season, potentially, if they do not come back here in the 9th inning, is on the shoulders of Dylan Cease.
In that raucous environment with a very capable Cubs lineup that we saw at times with the solo home runs here today. We'll take a timeout. We'll have post-game reaction. We've got you covered for the 9th inning. And then all the post-game reaction will be right here on Jon and Jim, San Diego Sports 760. We'll hear from Mike Schilt, players, Cubs manager Craig Counsell, and more. So do not go anywhere. We head to the 9th. Cubs are leading the Padres in game 1, 3-1. This is Jon and Jim, San Diego Sports 760, live on the iHeartRadio app.
All right, this update's brought to you by Parkwiz. Padres down to their final out in game 1 of the wild card series as they trail the Cubs 3-1. Cubs have retired now. How many, John? 13 in a row from their bullpen. We'll have full reaction to the game coming up next when it becomes final. Parking shouldn't slow you down. Parkwiz gives every driver a shortcut. Book ahead, save up to 50%, and skip the hassle of circling the block. Park smarter, park faster. Parkwiz. Download the Parkwiz app today and save every time you park.
All right, Jon and Jim. Manny Machado grounds out. And then Jackson Merrill flies out. Now, Xander Bogaerts is arguing what, Jim? They didn't give him an automatic strike, did they?
I think they did.
There's no way with 2 outs in the 9th inning and Mike Schill is out.
I think.
Okay,
they're talking about it.
Well, I got to talk about it.
Come on. Don't do this.
You cannot
Don't
give
do
an
the automatic strike
in a 2-hour game. The game's 2 hours old. There's 2 outs in the 9th inning. That would be an embarrassment. Forget about everything else. We'll talk about the game, but give me a break for an automatic strike in a playoff game.
Schill is ready to fight.
Let's see here.
6 seconds.
Oh, he had to be in at 8. He stepped out. He thought the pitcher stepped off the back of the rubber.
Okay. Whoa.
He stepped out because he thought time was called.
Yeah. He stepped off. There has to be.
Yeah, he stepped off.
Stepped off. No strike.
Are we sure?
There's no way. There's no freaking way. There's no way.
The initial ruling was a strike. But let's see if they're going to change it.
I think they are. Batter timeout.
Holy moly.
Yeah.
Cubs fans are going to freak. I would have freaked out over that. The idea of even calling it. Like, you can't do it with 2 outs in the 9th inning.
Look, the home plate umpire today, he's been in one postseason series in his career.
I actually think he's been pretty good.
I think he's been pretty
strikes.
good.
Not perfect. He missed a strike on Manny.
Yeah, he did.
They would have rung him up. But I think he's been good.
Yes, I agree with that.
This would have been a disaster.
That would have been awful.
But I credit them for getting it right. No strike on Bogaerts. So Bogaerts has been their offense today, Jim. They need him to reach, and then they need someone to do something. It's 3-1 Cubs at 2 outs.
Looping and blast, baby.
So what'd you just say? The bullpen has sent down 13 straight.
Yes. Well,
the Padres,
not 14,
I'm trying to do a reverse jinx. No, that was 13.
Okay.
I'm trying to do a reverse jinx. The Padres are 0-35 all time in a postseason game, trailing into the 9th inning. And they're an out away from falling behind in a best-of-3 series, 1-0. Which, again, if you
go back out to work with, John.
Listen, crazy things have happened.
Yeah, it's postseason baseball, man.
They're working with a strike right now.
Just, yeah, we'll see how this one plays out.
That's well said.
Dude, you know,
I know. We're all kind of taking it in. That's why it's kind of a watch party. Then we'll have the full reaction. We're going to have 3+ hours of full reaction, folks. 3+ hours.
Okay. All right. Well, you know.
Who's on deck?
That would be Ryan O'Hearn,
who was robbed earlier by Dansby Swanson twice.
It would be a nice little redemption if you can get on here for Ryan O'Hearn,
who's got the ability to put a ball out of the yard.
Absolutely, and he's been hot of late.
All right, so Bogaerts is staying alive with 2 outs in the 9th inning.
Yeah,
give me something, Jim.
I'm trying.
I know you are. That's what I'm saying.
Trying here.
Yeah, I don't even know what to say right now.
It doesn't matter. Just get on base. Like, take a pitch.
Get hit.
Maybe
something. Not the foot, but
no. Like, take one to the back. Take one to the team.
Exactly. And again, Bogaerts has 2 hits today.
I know. He's had a really good game offensively. Really good game.
He really has.
Yeah. Except there we go. Just keep fighting it off. Fighting it off, dude. Keep fighting it off.
You know, you watch this team as long as we watch this team. All winter, spring training, 162, and these games are so magnified. Best-of-3 series. I mean, give me a break. Watch 200 games this year.
Yeah. Oh, geez. That's
ball game. All right. Padres fall in game 1. 14 consecutive Padres retired by Cubs relievers. Padres bats quiet in game 1. Seiya Suzuki, part of back-to-back home runs for Chicago. Cubs take game 1 at Wrigley 3-1. They're a win away from advancing. Unbelievable. You get Nick Pivetta, who was dealing in this game, to pitch the way he pitched. And it all boils down to me to the wasted opportunities for the Padres bats. Runner at third with a run in the 2nd inning with nobody out. They don't score another run. Later, we could talk about the decision to bunt Jackson Merrill, but later in that inning, they had a runner at third with only one out and didn't get him in. And you lose by 1 run. And you had multiple opportunities with runners at third and less than 2 outs, and you didn't get him in. It is as simple as that. It is as simple as that in the postseason, and that's a little bit of who the Padres have been this year. And they fall to the Cubs. They lose game 1, and they're a game away from potentially being eliminated in Chicago here in 2025.
Yeah, look, it's a pattern that's now become a trend for this team on the road, and nothing changed in game 1. It looked early on like they were going to kind of buck that trend a little bit because they came out swinging. They came out and they looked good. Like they were hitting Matthew Boyd hard.
First 2 innings.
Yeah.
Yep.
And Pivetta was rolling. And then the bats just went completely quiet, which is should not be a surprise if you've watched this team all year long, to be honest with you, especially on the road. This team on the road is nothing like they are at home. Nothing. And that was one of my biggest concerns going into this series, is that with all the data that we've seen all year long, all the games we've seen this team play on the road all year long, what would give you any kind of hope that they weren't going to play like that? Because they haven't done it one time. Well, they've done it one time, that was against the Brewers, but every other time on the road against a good team, they look exactly like they look today.
What is interesting to me, almost like ironic, is like everyone has spent the last 2 months since the deadline saying the Padres have this mega super pen. And it was the Cubs bullpen that went 14 up and 14 down behind Matt Boyd. Like, Matt Boyd was always going to be a problem. I didn't know the bullpen was going to be perfect. The bullpen just went 4 2/3 perfect innings. And now if it is Shota Imanaga tomorrow, you're dealing with more of the same. Tough enough left-handed starter. Yes, he has struggled recently. But by the way, yes, the Padres have a quasi-rested bullpen. You can go to everyone again, Jim. Cubs, the same thing. They're going to go to the exact same relievers in the exact same spots. And if they take a 1-run lead, they're going to be very comfortable in that spot. And all this urgency talk, you have to have urgency heading into a postseason. You need to maximize opportunities. You cannot squander. Everything is magnified. They squandered an opportunity. Runner at third, nobody out. They squandered another opportunity. Runner at third, 1 out. And they lose by a run. Like, that's as damning of a thing as you can say. Like, they had the chances. They didn't capitalize. I wouldn't ask for more out of Pivetta. I'm not asking for much more out of their bullpen. Yes, Estrada. They lost by 2 runs. I keep saying they lost by 1 run. They lost by 2 runs.
Yeah.
But it's just the way they lost this game, like, just frustrating. And you're right. More of what we've seen at times, a lot of times this year.
It's the same thing that we've seen from this team on the road all year long. Nothing different today. You know, not a lot happened in the game, to be honest with you. No. It was 2 swings by the Cubs. That was the game. I know they got an insurance run there in the 8th, but they only needed 2 to win. Second inning, you know, you get Merrill the double, and then you get the double from Xander, and then you couldn't get him in on third with nobody out.
I mean, that's the game.
Well, that coupled with also Manny Machado on third with 1 out and not being able to get him in as well.
Agreed.
That they should have led 3-0. They should have been up 3-0.
Yep.
You know, and
they should have gotten the second run after the Bogarts situation at third.
Yeah.
And they should have gotten in that run at third with 1 out.
Yeah. That is the game right there. I know the bunt, people might look at it and be like, I can't believe he bunted. I'm with you. I thought it was a decision that definitely needs to be talked about because it's your number 4 hitter. It's your cleanup hitter.
Right,
and you're having him
for mean.
And you're having him bunt in the middle of the game. Like, what are we doing? But the 2 moments of the game where lost the Padres game 1 was exactly the moments that we're talking about. Runner on third, nobody outs in the second, runner on third, 1 out in the 4th. And that's it. Because if they capitalize and they play fundamentally good baseball there, they're up 3-0. And it's a completely different game.
Here's why it's different to your point. They win the game going up 3-0. You say, well, hold on, John, the Cubs scored 3 runs. They wouldn't have.
No.
With a 3-0 lead, even if Pivetta allows the home runs, and he may have, Even if he does, Mason Miller's getting more than 3 outs, and Jeremiah Estrada's never pitching in the 8th inning.
100%.
Mason Miller's covering the 8th. I promise you that. He's covering the 7th and the 8th.
Yep.
Now, at that point, you got to go to Robert Suarez.
Yeah.
There have been adventures in there, and it's possible something would have happened. But they're taking a 3-2 lead in that scenario with them to the 9th inning.
Yeah, you're pitching Miller for 5 outs, and you're pitching Suarez for 4.
I mean, I think you could have pitched maybe Mason Miller for 6 outs today.
6 is maybe pushing
it's a stretch.
it.
Maybe it's a stretch.
Maybe, but he definitely would have gotten the 7th, and I think he would have gotten 2 outs in the 8th, and then you're going to Suarez there for a 4-out save.
That's why it's different.
Yeah.
That's why. Yep. Because now you can really maximize those leverage arms, which they didn't. Now, if there's any, I hate to be this guy 5 minutes after they lost like this, but you have to turn a page to Dylan Cease in game 2. You need to win the next 2 games. No team's ever done it since 2022, lost game 1 of a wild card series and won a series. But if there's any silver lining, is you can turn right back to Mason Miller tomorrow. And you can turn right back to Adrian Morejon. And they're going to have to.
How many pitches did
neither of them threw 20 pitches, did they? They're both available.
I mean, Miller struck out the side.
They're both available.
Miller threw 13 pitches, 10 strikes, struck out the side. He's going to be available for 4 outs tomorrow.
Right.
You have Suarez, who didn't pitch. He's definitely available for 4, 5 outs potentially.
Yeah.
I would not put Estrada in there, to be honest with you.
Tomorrow.
And I would definitely have Morejon ready. He only threw 9 pitches in 1 inning today. So those are your 3 guys that you're going to be leaning on. And you know what? I'm putting Wandy Peralta in the mix as well to take Estrada's spot in the bullpen tomorrow.
He finished off that 8th, right?
Yeah.
Today?
Yep.
He finished off that.
So
listen, you have all the pitching you need.
Yeah.
You got Michael King. You got Randy. You can get as creative as you want. Your season's down the line. Dylan Cease doesn't have to give you 5 innings. You don't need anything from anyone. What you really need is you got to score first and you got to be able to hold it. They scored first today. They were following the formula. But how many times have you heard us say all season long, it's such a difficult formula to follow. Trying to hold 1-run leads is an awful strategy. How many times have I said that? All year long. Holding 1-run leads, even with great pitching, is a bad strategy. By and large, teams will come back and tie you or take a lead. You have to add on. That's the failure today. They didn't add on with a 1-0 lead, and they lose 3-1 today. That was the failure for me here today, not adding on when they had chances.
Yeah, and we'll hear from Mike Schilt post game.
I mean, what would you want Schilt to do differently? We could talk about Merrill. That's fine. And that, what else?
But that I get it, and I'm sure it might be asked about Jackson Merrill, maybe because you have the national media there as well, not just local. There's nothing Mike Schilt could have done with the situations that they had today that they missed out on, with runners on third, with 1 out and no outs. Like it comes down to Dansby Swanson made 2 fantastic defensive plays against Ryan O'Hearn.
Now, if
and
it's
Gavin,
anyone other than Manny at third base with nobody out and that ground ball on the left side.
If Toddy's there, he scores.
I mean, he had to make a diving stop, and I'm thinking, Manny, I get it. You're waiting for a ball to go through. There's nobody out. You're not going on contact. The infield was in or quasi in or middle in. And so I get it. You're not going on contact, but geez, with that ball hit and he has to dive after it, I think you're scoring on that ground ball. Anyone other than Manny is scoring on that ground ball. All right, we're going to hear from Mike Schilt. We'll hear from players. We're going to react. We want to hear from you. 877-767-4760 or text us 70470. Start it with the word team. Again, 70470. Start it with the word team. We are here until 6 p.m. Full reaction to the Cubs taking game 1 of a best-of-3 wildcard series at Wrigley by a score of 3-1. This is Jon and Jim, San Diego Sports 760, live on the iHeartRadio app. All right, Jon and Jim, San Diego Sports 760. We're going to hear from Mike Shildt shortly. We'll hear from players. Padres lose game 1 in Chicago to the Cubs 3-1. We do want to hear from you. 877-767-4760. 877-767-4760. Tomorrow at noon, the Padres will play to extend their season. And by the way, the offensive struggles that ended 2024 continue in 2025. They've scored 1 run in their last 33 postseason innings going back to last year.
Is that good?
No, I mean 4 combined hits. And by the way, the runners in scoring position does not tell the story. I'm taking 2 for 7. The 2 for 7 runners in scoring position is not what did them in. No. It's not hitting with runners at third. Okay.
When was the other hit? They had 1 hit with Merrill on second. When was the other hit?
There was the Merrill at second. Was that the infield hit from Bogaerts?
No, that was the double by Bogaerts to drive him in.
There was also an infield hit from Bogaerts later in the game. Was a runner in scoring position at the time? Remember that?
Oh, yeah, I remember that. He beat out a single.
Yeah, just a slow roller.
Yeah.
Okay, which is fine.
Manny's at second. He gets to third. So it was
first and third one out.
First and third one out, yeah.
So we were talking about, by the way, and we're going to get to all these calls, 877-767-4760. Everyone's going to want to weigh in. Brent's doing multiple things, so stay on the line.
Keep calling.
By the way, what I was referencing earlier, I'm like, anyone other than Manny on third would have scored. I was talking about when Bogaerts was at third and that ground ball was on the left side. The infield was quasi in.
That was the second inning.
And he held up because there's nobody out. I get it. You don't want to make it out at home plate. I think he scores easily. You were talking about Manny later when O'Hearn hit a ball back of short and Swanson went back on a ball. Manny's never going to score on that. I agree with you. Toddy may have tried, but yeah, it's just, again, you had the chances. And in the postseason,
you have to capitalize.
There's the deal.
Have to.
Especially with nobody out.
We're not, I mean, it's not like we're asking for them to hit, a bunch of 3-run homers here. That would be nice. We know they can't do it, but we're not asking for that. We're asking for them to, capitalize with runners on third base and less than 2 outs and get that runner in and execute. And they didn't execute today. And in the 8th inning, Cubs executed it perfectly to get a run across the plate to go up 3-1. So the Cubs, they executed well in the 8th. Padres, they did not execute well in the 2nd and the 4th inning.
Tatis Arise Machado 0 for 11.
Is that good? That's awful.
I mean, Tatis Arise Machado at the top of your order 0 for 11. Merrill had a big hit. Bogaerts had a good day. O'Hearn, Sheets, Cronenworth 0 for Fermin had a base hit, was 1 for 3.
What did we say about Manny?
As he goes.
Not only that, like his postseason career, awful. There's no way around it.
He was 215 coming in. He goes 0 for today, so 212 or 210.
It's got to be much, much better. By the way, Luis Ariz in his postseason career, not great either.
Right.
Fernando Tatis Jr., he had a bad game,
you can give him a game.
Over the course of his career in the postseason, he's been phenomenal. Now, the last 3 postseason games he played in,
not so much.
Very bad. But you look at Manny, you look at Toddy, you look at Arise, you're not going to be winning many postseason games when the top of your order goes 0 for. You're just not.
It's hard.
Unless they have a bunch of players in the middle of their lineup, they're just mashing.
Interesting stat in general on the Padres. They're 1-6 in their last 7 road playoff games. 1-6, the Dodger Stadium win.
Yeah, that's right.
And 6 other losses, including here today, other games at Dodger Stadium, Philadelphia.
Yep.
Going back to 2022. Let's go to the phones. We will hear from Mike Shildt at 3 p.m. We will have Mike Shildt's full post-game reaction coming up at 3 p.m. Let's start with Adam on line 1, 877-767-4760. Adam, you're on with Jon and Jim.
All right, I know we got a lot to talk about. A couple main points. The first thing, that game, everything we complained about this entire season, even the batting order. Last year, offense was pretty good for a long time. Arise was leading off, Tatis was second. No, this year, let's flip that. Arise, worst 2-hitter in the entire league the whole year. Then it gets over in the postseason here. Shildt, like Bernie Wilson said, so stubborn. And then the bunting, Jackson Merrill bunting in the 4th inning literally made me want to break the TV. I'm not even exaggerating. That was the most ridiculous thing ever. Your cleanup hitter gets a nice double earlier in the game, and then you have him sacrifice bunt, giving up a run, and then they can't execute again. And then I'm sorry, Manny Machado, it's a lot to talk about. He's not that guy. That's another postseason right away. First game doing nothing. Last year he hit like 170, didn't do a thing. Manny's not the guy. I'm sorry. That's it.
Thank you, Adam.
Thanks, Adam.
I mean, listen, he said it well.
Yeah.
I'm taking a photo of a stat on the guy.
How many sack bunts the Padres have had this year, and they lead the league by a wide margin.
I mean, is that what you want to lead the league in?
No.
I get Adam's frustration. I didn't in real time feel the same way about the bunt, but with the benefit of hindsight, I definitely understand it. I don't like playing yourself out of a potential big inning.
Especially when you lead off the inning with a walk and the very next pitch, you lay down a bunt. That, to me, is not good baseball. It's just not good baseball. If Manny got on, first pitch swinging, and he hits a single to the right, I still don't like it.
Mm-hmm.
But when you have a leadoff walk in the inning, and you're just letting the pitcher off the hook.
Yeah, like what if? We'll never know. What if Merrill rips the ball down the right field line? They could score 10. Well, they could score 5 runs in the inning. We have no idea.
Or what if Merrill drew like a 9-pitch walk?
Right.
And now you have 2 on, nobody out.
And by the way, could he ground into a double play? Sure.
100%.
It's baseball.
Yeah.
Could he strike out? Of course he could.
Also, when's the last time Merrill grounded doing double play?
It doesn't happen a lot.
So it was a stupid decision. Hindsight's obviously,
yeah, of course.
Hindsight here, but at the same time, I think the thought process is why people are upset, and as you should be, and why the more I think about it, the more upset I get.
Let's go back to the phones. 877-767-4760. Brent, let's go to Chris, who is on line 2. Chris, thanks for your patience. You're on with Jon and Jim.
Hey, thanks for taking the call, guys. So the baseline odds for scoring in a baseball game with no outs with a guy on third are 65 to 70%.
Right.
That's just the baseline. So it's not accounting for the talent of the pitcher, the talent of the runner, or the talent of the hitter, obviously.
Sure.
So this is a team that is just beating the odds in all the worst ways. And as you guys have said 100% correctly, we've done it all year long. This team's offense just doesn't matter who's in the lineup. Like the other caller said, Adam, Arise looks like a shadow of his former self. But the offense doesn't matter how it's constructed, who's batting where. They just go away completely. It's like no one is even at the plate. And that's been the identity of this ball club, is that we don't have an offensive identity. And, oh, look, now we're down 0-1 and looking to hopefully not get swept tomorrow. But, man, just brutal to watch today.
Really good call, Chris. We appreciate you listening in. It's well said. You like to think, Jim, you turn the page in the second season, that some of the bets are off, so to speak, and then you watch a game that you watched in the regular season 20 times on the road against good teams.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
It's exactly it. And I was trying to talk myself out of it. Like, you know what? I know they've sucked on the road this year against good teams, but hey, it's the postseason, right? Like, hey, it's good. And then for the first couple innings, I'm like, I feel pretty good about things.
Absolutely.
You feel like, all right, the regular season, wash that away.
And they did what we asked. They scored first, and they got enough length from Nick Pivetta. You felt great about the way Pivetta was throwing.
Great. And giving up those 2 solo shots, like it's going to happen.
It will.
It just felt like everything that is the Padres have done poorly this year, it all showed up in game 1 today. They got out homer 2-0. The long ball, we talked about it. Like, could that cost them in the postseason? Well, it cost them in game 1. Inability to win on the road against good teams, it reared its ugly head again. Poor execution with runners at third base and the reared its ugly head. Like everything in bunting, sack bunting in the 4th inning with your cleanup hitter, like it all came to a head today in game 1. And now it's like the entire season rests on the shoulders of a guy who has 1 win on the road this year in Dylan Cease. And as I pull up his numbers, he's pitched better of late.
Yes.
I won't deny that. But those weren't against like the Dodgers on the road or the Cubs on the road or, playoff teams on the road. Those were against like the White Sox and the Rockies on the road. And you look at his splits. I know we'll get to break. His road numbers this year, John, this is the guy who has to save your season tomorrow. He's 1-9 with a 5.58 ERA in 16 starts on the road this season.
Redemption time for Dylan Cease, who pitched terribly in Game 4 against the Dodgers last year in the NLDS. We're going to get your calls. We're going to hear from Mike Schilt, Cubs manager Craig Counsell, players as well. Full reaction until 6 p.m. Do not go anywhere. We'd love to hear from you. 877-767-4760. Hour 2, Jon and Jim next.
All right, this update's brought to you by Park Whiz. Game 1 in the books. Cubs take down the Padres 3-1 to take a 1-0 series lead. Game 2 tomorrow afternoon, 12:08 first pitch. Padres season is on the line with Dylan Cease on the mound for the Padres. Parking shouldn't slow you down. ParkWiz gives every driver a shortcut. Book ahead, save up to 50%, and skip the hassle of circling the block. Park smarter, park faster. ParkWiz. Download the ParkWiz app today and save every time you park.
Padres Cubs continues out at Wrigley Field. We'll give you the latest and full reaction once it's over. Plus, can the Aztecs carry the momentum into Friday's matchup with Colorado State? Now live from the San Diego Sports 760 studios, it's Jon and Jim.
All right, San Diego and Southern California, what's going on? This is hour 2 of Jon and Jim. We're going to hear from Mike Schild momentarily. We're going to react to your calls. Padres lose game 1 in Chicago to the Cubs, and the fate of game 1 losers has not gone well since they instituted the wild card officially in 2022. The loser of game 1 the last 3 years, 22, 23, 24, 0-12 in a series. The Padres will try to buck, got to be careful saying that word, buck that trend over the course of the next day, hopefully more than that, hopefully over the course of the next 2 days. Why don't we start with Mike Schild, right, Jim? And then we're going to get to the call. We need to hear from Mike Schild.
Yeah. And if you want to call in, 877-767-4760. Text line is open, 70470. Also, our chat is open on YouTube as well. Just find us, Jon and Jim, SD760 on YouTube. But yeah, let's get to Mike Schild.
All right, so this is about 4 minutes of Mike Schild with the media postgame. It starts, you're going to hear a portion of the question, but it starts with the manager being asked about the bullpen.
It's the bullpen for both sides. Just what made things so difficult for the hitters against the Cubs bullpen today?
It was a well-pitched game, both sides threw out a lot of good arms. Boyd dodged some bullets early. We let him off the hook, had a chance to add on, got the one to take the lead. And then, I thought Nick was fantastic. He was terrific and got a few balls. I think the Suzuki pitch more than the Carson pitch was pitched more middle, put a swing on him. Carson backspun a ball out of there. But I thought Nicky was fantastic. And then, then it was about the bullpens, and their bullpen was good. Conditions weren't maybe ideal. I don't think anybody's going to make excuses for that. At least we won't. But, they tacked on around the 8, and that was it.
Jay in the third row in the middle.
Mike, would you look at their lineup? Where do you put the Suzuki in terms of their dangerous hitters? Like, how much of a concern is he?
It's a good question. There's danger throughout. He's a guy that takes professional at bats, and he's tucked in a pretty good spot for him. So he's a guy that clearly is a proven professional hitter, and he put a good swing on it.
A few more for Mike. Go Scott in the second row, and then back to Megan.
Hey, Mike, you guys had some chances, guys on third. What was your take on what Dansby Swanson did to kind of change the game defensively?
Yeah, probably the play of the game, right? I mean, coming off the bat, I thought Ahern had a good approach. Got in on him a little bit, but stayed through it right off the bat. I thought, it was going to fall in there, but Dansby got a nice drop step, went out and made what ended up being probably the play of the game.
Megan?
Kind of just off that, you guys put a lot of pressure on Boyd in a couple of those innings with runners in scoring position. What did you just see within the at-bats in those moments? Just you kind of alluded to Dansby's play, but just overall the defense?
I like the at-bats a lot. I thought our approach was good. We knew what it was. I really appreciated that we stayed stubborn to it. And then within the at-bat, if we chased a little bit and, chased him under a little bit, we made adjustments and, looked to say, hey, we're going to get this ball up or we're going to get it out over whatever our individual approaches were. So I thought the bat quality was good, and it was just a good, clean ball game overall.
In the back on the left.
Hi, Mike. The Jackson Merrill bunt there in the fourth, the runner on first, was that something he did, something that was called in, and sort of what was the thinking behind it?
Yeah, Jackson's on his own there, seeing the game, getting it over. It worked out to the point where we got Manny over and Logie infield hit. We got a chance to, extend the lead. That's what we're looking to do. And we just couldn't, we got our sac fly with 2 outs.
back to Scott in the second round.
Mike, what's your confidence in game 2 with Dylan on the mound and then a fairly well-rested bullpen overall?
Yeah, we'll similar to today. We'll read the game. Same thing. Nick was giving us what we were asking for. One hit going into the fifth. A couple swings got him. On a day where the wind wasn't overly, it's actually blowing in a little bit. But, we'll see what the game presents. And clearly our backs are against it. But, look, in our club's no stranger to, challenges. And, we're battle tested way into the ball tomorrow, and we'll go from there.
You got in the back left.
Mike, is that sort of the mindset tonight? It's just your back's been up against it over and over this season, and tomorrow's another chance for that?
That's right. We know what we're looking at, right? So, we got to take care of business tomorrow to set ourselves up to take care of business on Thursday, and we expect to do that. And our clubhouse right now, it's disappointed, but nobody's hanging their head. This is a good club that knows what they're capable of doing and is eager to show up to go compete tomorrow. They want to get the ball, and we'll take it from there.
Jackson on his own there, per the manager, Mike Schill. There's multiple ways you could take that.
I'll take it this way. I'll take it that, do I put a lot of blame on Jackson Merrill there now? I do. But the mindset of this team has been instilled in them to just play for a run. So Merrill is doing basically what they're teaching.
He's been conditioned.
He's definitely been conditioned to, in that moment, thinking to himself, let's play for a run.
Play for a run. And
that's the reason why he bunted there. So, do I put a lot of blame on Jackson Merrill for that moment? Yeah, it was a stupid, in the end, in hindsight, obviously here, but it was stupid for him to bunt. That's on Merrill. But I can also put blame on Schilt and the entire team, because that's the mindset that's been instilled in them all year long.
Right. This is Sac Diego. They lead baseball in sacrifice bunts by a wide margin. So you're right. It has been instilled. We're going to hear from Craig Counsell. We'll hear from Padres players as well. Let's go back to the phones, Brian. We'll start with Phil on line 3. 877-767-4760. We appreciate all the patience. If you want to weigh in, we'd love to hear from you. 877-767-4760. Phil, you're on with Jon and Jim.
Hey, guys. Thanks for taking my call. Really disappointed, man. I just thought some things would be different in the postseason. There's 3 things. First one, I know you guys were doing the show, and I don't know if you watched everything, but I didn't like Manny Machado's last at bat and grounding out to Swanson and not running it out. I don't think it's too much to ask him, in case Swanson bobbles it, that he hustles a little bit in the post game. In the playoffs. Second thing, Tatis's last at bat. Up 2-0 and then watching 3 straight strikes. It was like when Fernando's not cooking, he just gets in this spell. But I wanted to answer, the main reason I called is I wanted to answer John's question about what Mike Schilt could have done differently.
Yeah.
If you're going to be Johnny Little League and Mr. Sacrifice, then why not do a suicide squeeze? Or why not do a safe bunt? Why not create, be a little aggressive, and try to get another run across? And that's it. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Phil.
I
think it's a great point. I think I need to see Machado's last AB. You do have to run out a playoff at bat. You have to run out a playoff at bat.
Well, John, there's no urgency.
You have to. That is the requirement.
Yeah.
You have to.
Look, I get it. I'm not going to kill the guy, because the odds of Dansby Swanson, who's a Gold Glover, throwing that away, probably very low, but I get it. I understand it. The frustration is very high, especially with Manny Machado, because he has not performed in the postseason over his career. So it's like people are starting to get fed up with the lack of production from Manny come postseason time. This is now the 4th trip to the postseason that he has made with the Padres in his tenure with the team. And he has had very few big moments with the Padres in the postseason, and he has not had good postseason runs at all in the 4 years that they've made it. So I get it. The frustration is high. When you see Manny kind of jogging down to first, again, I don't know if he did.
I don't know either.
But I get it. The frustration is an all-time high right now. The final at bat from Toddy wasn't a good one. I get it. But I mean, the dude was nasty, but still, I understand the frustration is at an all-time high. These guys are better than this. And today it was the same old, same old.
877-767-4760. We'll hear from Cubs manager Craig Counsell coming up. We want to hear from you. Let's go to Paul on line 4. Paul, thanks for your patience. You're on with Jon and Jim.
Oh, thanks for taking my call, and thanks for all your Padre coverage and the wrap-up show as well.
Yeah,
hey, all we heard was Boyd with the left hand, and since Laureano, his injury, the Padres left-heavy lineup, we were so screwed, and it wasn't even a factor at all. And like you said to begin the show, it's just a continuation of games 3 through 5 from the Dodgers series last year in 24. The bats just go silent. And to me, once I saw, I think his name's Placencia, once he came in after Boyd, those guys were just like deer in the headlights. Because, they're like, this guy is not one to be messed with. And you could just see it in their faces as far as, I'm concerned. But thanks for all your coverage, and thanks a lot for taking my call.
Appreciate you, Paul.
Thanks, Paul. Appreciate that, man.
Yeah, 14 up, 14 down is unacceptable. I don't care if you're facing the Padres bullpen.
Yeah.
You can't go that quietly in a one-run game all day.
You know what I do think, and this is not an excuse, because the Cubs, they hit 2 homers and they got across another run there in the 8th inning. But for tomorrow's game, seeing how this game played out and how the shadows played out and how they progressed during the game, probably a good strategy to score like a lot of runs early, or at least get your bulk runs early in the game. Because once you get to the shadow part of the game, later in the late innings, like, it could be very tough.
It could be tough anytime.
I know.
That's the problem. They could be playing this thing without gravity, and they're going to struggle to hit home runs.
I know.
You know what I mean? What we're watching right now, and you're right, what we're watching right now is just concerning, because how can you not? You can't be free and loose when you're in the Padres spot. No. Down a game with an offense that cannot score in postseasons. All right, more of your calls on the other side. Craig Counsell, the Cubs manager, weighing in on the Cubs' 3-1 win over the Padres. We do want to hear from you. We're here until 6 p.m. Our phone number is 877-767-4760. Full postgame reaction to the Padres falling in Game 1 of a best-of-3 wildcard series at Wrigley to the Cubs. This is Jon and Jim. All right, Jon and Jim, San Diego Sports 760. Remember, download the iHeartRadio app and search for San Diego Sports 760. Put us in your presets. Put Jon and Jim in your presets. Find us on YouTube. Follow this show at Jon and Jim. All right, Padres lose 3-1 to the Cubs. Game 1 at Wrigley. We'll hear from Craig Counsell momentarily. Let's go back to the phones. Number of people have been very patient today. 877-767-4760. Where do you want to start? Line 2 or line 1, Brent? Line 1. All right, Vito on line 1. Thanks for the patience. You're on with Jon and Jim.
Hey, thanks, guys, for taking my call. My complaint's a little bit different today in the sense that, going to Padre games all throughout the year, and then the games we don't go to, you watch them on TV, and then they decide to make the postseason at noon when everybody's working, and I can't even comment on the game because I didn't get to watch it.
No, I agree with you, Vito. The thing is, when it's in Chicago and they have the Dodgers and the West Coast, like it's brutal, but that's kind of what it was going to be. Like it's not going to be a situation where they're going to play at 10 in the morning in Chicago or West Coast time for a Chicago game at noon. Like usually they play at 2:00 or 3:00 Central Time.
It is what it is, right? It's national television. There's 4 series that are going on all on the same day. It's something that kind of has to be overcome.
And they're not taking Yankees, Red Sox off of primetime East Coast time.
Right. And the Dodgers in the West are going to be playing Pacific at night. It honestly, it makes sense to me. Of course, Red Sox, Yankees this evening. Of course, Dodgers are playing at night. And of course, the Guardians and the Tigers are playing during the day. By the way, a little bit of a surprising story here is that Andrew Kittredge will start for the Cubs tomorrow. So the righty Kittredge, that's an opener, is it not?
That's a bullpen game.
Yeah, so Kittredge, did he throw? He did throw.
He did throw.
So Kittredge to start before potentially a long man maybe a starter like Imanaga, but Annie Halperin reporting that Andrew Kittredge will start for the Cubs opposite Dylan Cease. The Cubs will go with an opener tomorrow in game 2, trying to seize the series at Wrigley Field.
Interesting. If they went bullpen day tomorrow. Another thing too, by the way, the Cubs bullpen, they retired how many in a row? 14. They retired 14 in a row. What was the story last postseason? The Dodgers bullpen dominated the Padres. Dominated.
Mm-hmm. More of the same.
Can the Padres can they get to an opposing team's bullpen one time or no?
You invested $1 billion in this lineup.
$1 billion
now,
with
that doesn't mean every game everyone's going 2 for 3. We understand it. But you invested $1 billion and you've had playoff chances with this lineup. And by and large, they have not lived up to expectations. It will be the opener Kittredge tomorrow, the righty against guys like Tatis and Machado at the top of the order. Let's go back to the phones. We'll hear from Craig Counsell coming up. 877-767-4760. Eric, you're on with Jon and Jim.
Hey, guys, what's going on?
What's up, man?
Yeah, what a disappointment, right? I mean, it was exciting. We get that early lead, but even though we had that 0 for 3 or 0 for 9 from the top 3 batters, I mean, leaving Bogarts on third with no outs, O'Hearn and Sheets, popping up, flying out, Cronenworth grounding out. Then you get into the 4th with Manny on third. Here comes O'Hearn again and Sheets again. Can't even get it past the outfield. I mean, we're essentially up, virtually 3-0 there in the 4th inning. And I think that play by that shortstop from Chicago, I think I'm just going to have to call the play of the game there. But hopefully we can turn it around tomorrow and then see a game 3 on Thursday. Thank you.
Appreciate you, Eric.
Yeah, Dansby Swanson, Gold Glover for a reason, and those 2 plays, specifically the one play in the 2nd inning. I mean, looking back now, yeah, that was the play of the game. That was definitely defensively the play of the game. His over-the-shoulder catch there in the 4th, it was a good play, but it wasn't like a hard hit ball that he had to dive for like the O'Hearn play.
Both were against O'Hearn.
Yeah, he got snake bit today by Dansby Swanson. It's just so incredibly frustrating because, this team potentially is going to be defined by their inability to execute, their inability to hit home runs. And, the whole thing coming on down to Dylan Cease tomorrow.
You have cleanup batters bunting on their own.
Yeah, that's a problem. That's a big problem. The mentality that has been instilled in the 2025 Padres to have your cleanup hitter go out there after a leadoff walk in the inning to lay down a bunt on the very first pitch that he sees after the guy in front of him walks is the worst possible mindset that could be instilled into a baseball team that's in the postseason.
What did we say when they were bunting in the second inning at Coors Field in some meaningless game? If they're doing it now, they're going to be doing it then.
Postseason.
If they're doing it against the Rockies, and I don't care if he's bunting on his own or not. Why is the 4-hitter bunting?
Never should be. Never, ever, ever, ever,
I mean,
ever.
There's
times.
Maybe a time, but it's not
in
the
that
time
in that situation. Never.
Not there. You're right. You're right. And again, we have the benefit of hindsight, but you're right. 877-767-4760. Let's go back to the phone. Steven, you're on with Jon and Jim. Thanks for your patience.
Good afternoon, gentlemen. How are you guys doing?
We're okay. How are you?
Just another day, huh? Just another Padres game, huh?
Just another Padres game. What's up, man?
What do you got?
I'm going to try and summarize in 3 points. 1, enough with the bunting. We've seen enough. I'm done with it. Don't need to be giving away free outs. 2, gotta get this offense going, man. This is brutal. It's just brutal. Whatever we got to do, change the lineup, whatever it's got to be. And 3, I don't want to ride or die with Cease tomorrow. I would rather see a bullpen. I would rather see a bullpen again, or I'd rather see you or King piggyback game. Anyway, that's what I got.
Appreciate the call. I mean, you got no choice, I think. I mean, Dylan Cease is going to start the game.
Right.
And that's that. Now, it doesn't mean he's going to pitch more than 2 innings.
It's the shortest leash possible.
Yeah.
Like, you have red alert in the bullpen from the word play ball.
2 on, 1 out. Someone might be up. Yeah, you're right. And it might be Michael King. We talked about this morning on the wrap-up show. We did a pregame wrap-up show. King is not slated as of right now. Things could change, but as of right now, he's not slated to start any game in the series, game 2 or 3. And we were talking about ways that Michael King can make an appearance. I think the way that Michael King makes an appearance is if Dylan Cease is struggling early on tomorrow. I mean, like in the first inning, gives up a run. He's thrown like 20-something pitches. King's up in the bullpen. Or what you do is you have like a Wandy Peralta up in the bullpen to try to get out of the first, and then you go to King to start the second. I agree with you. Let's sneak in one more call here, Brent. 877-767-4760. We'll hear from Cubs manager Craig Counsell coming up, but Sam is on line 2. And Sam, you're on with Jon and Jim.
Yeah, guys, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
What's up?
I want to comment on something a previous caller said about the game, and I believe he said Manny didn't run out a ball or something like that. I was at work. I didn't get to watch the game, and to be honest with you, I'm actually a Dodger fan, but I keep telling my buddy the same thing. He argues that the Padres are a great team, and they do have a great team, a lot of talent on that team. But the one thing that I've always noticed is that Tatis and Manny, whenever they hit a little grounder to short or second base, they never run it out. And I've seen that for a couple years, and it bothers me to see a team that good not be able to perform, not be able to run out a grounder. I played baseball all my life. I know, those guys are professionals, but they're going to throw the ball away once in a while, especially if you put pressure on them.
Sam, appreciate you. You can't put that on Tatis. He said Toddy and Man. Toddy runs balls out. You can't put that on. Tatis runs balls out. I could put on Manny.
Look, today's game did not come down to Manny Machado not running out a ball in the 9th inning that was hit right at Dansby Swanson.
No, but it comes down to him going over.
That's exactly where I was going with it. It comes down to the fact that the top of your lineup went 0 for 11.
That's exactly right.
It comes down to the fact that you had runners on third base with less than 2 outs twice in this game, and you failed both times to get that run home.
Exactly right.
And you lost 3-1 when you would have been up 3-0 before those 2 home runs.
Just by executing.
Exactly.
Just with good situational hitting.
Yeah. And the Dansby Swanson play was a fantastic defensive play.
It was. Both of them were good.
Still, I mean, it's got to overcome
that. You do. We're going to hear from Cubs manager Craig Counsell on the other side. Padres fall in game 1. We want to hear from you. 877-767-4760 or 70470. Start it with the word team. Jon and Jim, San Diego Sports 760, live on the iHeartRadio app.
This update is brought to you by ParkWiz. Cubs take game 1 in Chicago as they beat the Padres 3-1. Game 2 tomorrow afternoon, 12:08 first pitch. Dylan Cease will be on the mound for the Padres. Cubs are going bullpen day as Andrew Kittredge will make the start for the Cubs. Looking around other scores in baseball today, Tigers beating the Guardians 2-1. Tariq Skubal, he pitched fantastic. 14 strikeouts in game 1. Tigers have a 1-0 lead there. And Red Sox Yankees is underway in New York. Scoreless. Sorry, Yankees. They're up 1-0 thanks to a home run right now in the bottom of the second inning. Yankees lead the Red Sox 1-0. Dodgers play the Reds later tonight, 6:08 first pitch. Parking shouldn't slow you down. ParkWiz gives every driver a shortcut. Book ahead. Save up to 50% and skip the hassle of circling the block. Park smarter, park faster, ParkWiz. Download the ParkWiz app today and save every time you park.
All right, Padres fall in game 1, as Jim just told you, 3-1. Game 2 is tomorrow at 12:08 Pacific. And the Padres obviously facing must win each of the next 2 days if they can extend it out to Thursday for a game 3. All right, let's hear from the manager of the Cubs. All right, we do want to hear from you if you want to weigh in as the Padres fall in game one. 877-767-4760. Now, Craig Counsell postgame was asked about the performance of Matthew Boyd, his starter. That's where this starts.
Well, I think the big thing for Matthew was that he made some huge pitches really with men on third base. The second inning to get out of that inning without another run scoring, nobody out, man on third. We made a great defensive play, a couple of great defensive plays to help that, but making those zeros after having man on third, no outs, man on third, less than 2 outs. That was a real key.
Maggie,
how would you just describe the bullpen today? I mean, they've been so good all season. Just to take it to another level.
It was perfect today. I mean, that's what it was. It's let's see, 13. That's 14 outs. And I've talked a lot about them helping each other and how that group is connected. And today was a great example of it. They get their outs and they make their matchups the right matchups. And so just a brilliant job. Everybody just executed pitches, made pitches. Can't say enough about what they did today.
And then just, the last couple of days we've asked you about Seiya and just the home runs we've seen from him, at the end of the regular season. Just how would you describe him rising to the moment and just him and Carson in their first postseason game doing that?
As much as anything, I mean, Pivetta was pitching so well. We knew, he's a guy where what's going to happen. He's going to put the fastball at the top of the strike zone. And when he clips the top of the strike zone consistently, which he did an excellent job of, it's difficult. It's a difficult pitch to hit. That's why he's had so much success. So we got, Bushy got a ball down early in the game. Dansby just missed one, and then Seiya got one. And it just, those, and I think in the postseason, maybe hits just change the stadium. It changes the energy of the stadium completely. So it's just about that. And I'm really happy for Seiya. I know he was very, very excited to take part in this and to play in this, and happy he had a big role in it.
Scott, second row on the left.
Craig, you made reference to the pitches Matthew Boyd made to get out of the inning, but the plays by Dansby, they were beautiful. How did that kind of just change the whole dimension of the game?
Well, that's why, we got a bunch of guys that can do that can contribute on kind of all phases of the game. And, the first play, we're down 2-0. They've still got things going. We might have to get the bullpen up, right? And so it was absolutely huge play. The second one's, almost a harder play. It's not a play that you make a lot, and it's just great athlete, great instincts. The wind probably helped us a little bit there and held the ball up a little bit. It was a beautiful play.
Russell, the right side.
Craig, you've always believed in out-getters as opposed to roles when it comes to your bullpen. For Palencia there in the 5th inning, comes in with a runner on. How confident are you that he gets one of the best hitters in the game who is no stranger to these big moments there, despite the fact that you've never put him in a position like that before?
Yeah, I think, to me, that's the outing of the game that was critical. He puts, you need outs from your starters in these games. You can't do that every day. But him throwing up 5 outs and 5 hitters and going through the top of their lineup, the game made sense after that to me. You know what I mean? Like there's a real path right there. So credit to Danny for putting the game back together. And those are 5 tough outs. And he did it efficiently, which is, we're always, that's the kind of added bonus to this stuff. And you're right. He went on the injured list with a shoulder, had a couple outings coming back, and, he was closing. This is the same to me. The where that outing happened and what was the result is like closing.
All right. So Craig Counsell, a portion of his comments to the media, I thought what he said made a lot of sense. 2 things: home runs change games and change energy. Okay.
What a surprise!
Shocking. Here's the other thing. The job that their first reliever in did, Palencia, changed everything.
He set up the bullpen exactly how Craig Counsell wanted it.
And then they go 14 up and 14 down. But, remember when Boyd leaves the game, what's the score when Boyd leaves the game?
1-0.
Yeah, I mean, so the Palencia innings were massive. Those 5 outs were so massive.
Now he left the game with runners on.
No, he went the next inning in 2/3. He went through the 6th. He came out of the 5th and went through the 6th.
They took him out before he could face the lineup for a third time.
Oh, you're saying Boyd left with someone on?
Yeah.
Yeah, Boyd may have left with someone on.
Like, let me.
I thought you meant Palencia left with someone on.
No. Palencia mowed down everybody.
Yeah, 5 up, 5 down.
Looking here.
Top of the 5th. There was a single.
Yeah, Freddie Fermin's single.
Yeah.
Then they made a pitching change. Palencia came in. Tatis lines out on the very first pitch to right field. And then Luis Arraez lines out to PCA to end the inning.
By the way, we're going to hear from Manny Machado.
You think
who I think was pretty short.
Yeah, I saw that.
Because it was 106 seconds of audio. 1 minute and 46. We also have Nick Pivetta postgame we're going to hear from.
Do you think that the Padres should have some urgency tomorrow in an elimination
Can
game?
you imagine if that came up today postgame? Like, are you guys going to have some urgency?
Like if
imagine asking that.
Like if some national reporter who doesn't know what even we're talking about
just stumbles into it.
Yeah, just like, hey, Manny, the urgency that you guys have tomorrow in an elimination game, where are you at?
I mean, Manny pounced on AJ Cassavell at the end of the regular season and said, "This is why I don't like reporters," because he asked, "Are you going to have urgency for this best of 3 series?" Come on, Manny.
But I think he'll pull that crap with the local ones because he'll just get a float around here. He won't do it nationally because it'll be all over the place.
I agree.
Yeah, if he said that nationally, if he said that on this stage, this is why I don't like reporters.
That'd be a huge story.
Massive baseball story.
Padres lose game 1. It wasn't because of Nick Pivetta, who we're going to hear from. We're going to hear from Manny Machado as well.
I had no problem with Nick Pivetta today. Like,
no,
none.
Can't ask for more than that.
No, he was on his way to pitching a exceptional game. Now, in the end, I think it's still a really good outing. 5 innings, 2 earned runs in the postseason. You take that all day, right? But, still, he had back-to-back homers. And that's what ended up costing him the game.
That was the game.
That was the game. He still pitched really well. But those 2 home runs, man, that's what cost him.
Again,
and it just
the long ball, the slug.
It just goes back to the conversation that we've had all year long, especially in the second half, is because this team can't hit home runs and you go up against somebody in the postseason that can, it changes the dynamic of the game in such a massive way because you're struggling to get just a run across the board.
Mm-hmm.
And the team in the other dugout, on any pitch, they can hit one over the wall.
But that still should be, to some extent, the Padres.
But it's not.
They're not Punch and Judy. They have $1 billion lineup.
I know, but this year, it's not. I get it. I get what you're saying.
I mean, we just said yesterday. I agree. We're saying the same thing. We're preaching to choirs. We said yesterday, Padres can run into balls. Gavin Sheets, Ryan O'Hearn, Manny Machado, Fernando Tatis Jr. It's not that. It's not Blue Moon stuff.
If the wall started at the warning track, this team would lead the league in home runs.
Today, they would have won this thing 8-3.
Right. They love to hit warning track outs.
320.
Like just right at the wall. And it came back to bite them in the ass in game 1.
I want to hear everything that Manny Machado had to say about game 1.
I need to hear every single word.
Every single word of what Manny Machado had to say post-game to the media, you're going to hear on the other side. We do want to hear from you. 877-767-4760 is our phone line. 877-767-4760. We're going to hear from Manny Machado and Nick Pivetta as the Cubs take game 1 of this best of 3 in Chicago. This is Jon and Jim, San Diego Sports 760, live on the iHeartRadio app. All right, Jon and Jim, we're going to hear from Manny Machado momentarily. We do want to hear from you. Padres lose to the Cubs in Chicago in Game 1, facing what some would call a must-win tomorrow.
Is it a must-win?
It's tomorrow a must-win game for the Padres. It is if they want to extend their season, and they'll turn to Dylan Cease. We do want to hear from you. 877-767-4760.
And that's I almost cussed there. That's the crappy part about postseason baseball
it's crazy.
For like teams that lose in the wild card, that it could end like that. And tomorrow's October 1st. And if they lose tomorrow, they will only have played one game in October, and the season will be over, and it will end very quickly.
There have been a lot of 2-game series in the best of 3 wild card over the years.
Yeah.
A lot of 2-game series.
And every year the Padres have been in the postseason since 2020, they've advanced.
Yep, 3 times.
So we've gotten a little run here.
Yeah.
And
one of them, they were a dog in New York against the 100-win Mets team.
And look, the 2020 team,
they overcame adversity.
They lost Game 1. And Mike
point.
Schilt was the manager of the Cardinals, and Mike Schilt lost both those games here at Petco Park in front of nobody in Game 3, the Craig Stammen bullpen game day.
So you're saying he can lose again?
Yeah.
I mean, it's a good point. I'm glad you referenced 2020, though, because they did trail by a game.
They did.
And the sky was falling.
And say what you want about the legitimacy of the postseason. Obviously, I have my take on it, right? But the organization and the team was down 1-0 in a postseason game in 2020, and they came back and they won 2 straight.
Improbably.
Yeah.
Game 3.
Yeah. Now it's obviously way different circumstances here. You're on the road in front of fans, and you've been a really bad road team all year long. Now you're 38-44 on the road this season.
The worst record among playoff teams.
It's not good.
On the road. All right, this is about 2 minutes of Manny Machado postgame.
Gotham played. It's another game. Stakes are a lot higher, but it's a beautiful thing to just be in this position regardless. So go out there and try to be the best I can.
Put some pressure on Boyd early, got guys in for the base. I feel like that was becoming where the game could have been changed a lot. And you guys could have scored early.
Yeah, we definitely we had opportunities. Make some pitches, you got some guys there. But we just left it like that, and I think overall we played a good game. Other than those 2 home runs, it would have been we would probably still been playing. So just wash it up and get ready for the game.
You got those 2 games in the early stages of the shadows. How bad was that?
There's no excuses, man. You got to go out there and play.
As a fellow infielder, the 2 plays that Swanson made on the balls that Ryan hit, you could have brought runs on. How good?
You're talking about both of them defenders, so yeah, some hell of a plays by a lot of people today on that field. So hell of a play, save some runs.
How confident is this group, though, as you guys face into a potential elimination game? What's the mindset of this offense, of this team?
Just play, go try to, play our best baseball. We've been doing it all year, and we continue to do that. Nothing's changed. Obviously, we're 1 down where we don't want to be, but wash this up and get ready for tomorrow, and go out there and try to do the same thing and come out with a victory.
I thank you, Marty Caswell, by the way, for that audio from Chicago. You can find it on YouTube. Search for Marty Caswell or Marty Time TV. He was short, as you would expect, less than 2 minutes for Manny Machado. Says just wash it away. Play again tomorrow.
I mean, look, other than the 2 home runs that they gave up, they would have won the game.
It's been the issue.
Actually, it would still be playing right now, as Manny said. Manny is who Manny is. And when he speaks, it sometimes is very insightful. And a lot of times you hear stuff like that, which he just bland, another game, just play baseball, blah, 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 blah. And I've always said, if Manny performs, you can say whatever the hell you want. But when you don't perform, then the things that you do say, they get magnified. Because if you're not going out there in the postseason and performing when you're the highest paid player on the team, and you come off the field and you tell reporters and you're just as nonchalant as can be, bro, bad look. But he has an opportunity tomorrow to perform, and then him post game today, who cares?
Yeah, but here's the other thing. If it doesn't go the way we all hope it goes, I mean, I don't even know if you can change this narrative at this point in your career. You're 14 years in, Manny. He's a 14-year major leaguer. He ain't getting younger. Like, you talk about having very few opportunities now to change around the narrative. I'm sorry. At some point, it is going to be true that, they'll be just in as good of a spot next year, and he's going to have more chances. And trust me, Manny, when he's 35, is going to be better than when he was 33. Okay. I mean, it's possible, but I'm watching a guy, what I was trying to pull up is his career postseason numbers in a Padres uniform. And it's obviously not good. But I mean, you know what I mean? It's almost like this narrative is set in stone if tomorrow looks like today. If they go out and lose 3-1 tomorrow and Manny's 0-4, you want me to go sell the narrative that wait till next year? It's all going to change? That's a tough narrative to sell. Next year, it's going to change. Trust me, here's why.
The one thing that Manny has done in at least every postseason series with the Padres, tell me if I'm wrong.
You're wrong.
Has he hit a home run in every postseason series for the Padres? At least one? I'm pretty sure he has. And if he hasn't, I know at least he's hit at least one homer in every postseason in totality for the Padres.
Why can't I find postseason cumulative? I think you're right.
So to change a narrative, which is, staring Manny in the face, he might not see it, but everyone else sees it.
He hasn't hit one home run in every series because last year in the postseason he hit one home run.
That's what I was going. I meant he's at least hit one home run in every postseason run with the Padres. Right. But look, the narrative on Manny, like I said, staring him in the face, he might not see it and he's oblivious to it, but the numbers are the numbers. He's a big back of the baseball card guy. Well, the back of his baseball card in the postseason is awful. And when you're getting paid $350 million, you got to produce. And, when you say, like, what can be done to change the narrative? Well, how about in, the 8th inning tomorrow, and if you're trailing 3-1, you hit a 3-run homer to give your team the lead. Or if in today's game, you go, 3 for 4 with a couple runs batted in. Or tomorrow, you go 3 for 4 with 3 RBIs. That's how you start to change narratives. But until he does that, Manny Machado disappears in the postseason, and it's not good for the team.
Here are Manny Machado's career postseason numbers, including Baltimore and LA. 211 with a 260 on base, a 418 slug is decent. For a 678 on base plus slugging.
Because he has hit some home runs.
But in a Padres uniform, he's almost done. I just looked up his batting numbers. It's 210. It's 211 for his career in the postseason. It's 210 in a Padres uniform, including today's 0-for-3 in Chicago. So it has not gone well. Now,
so disappointing.
There's always, listen, in the postseason, this script can flip, but there's one day to do it. The script has to be flipped tomorrow to give them a chance to win this thing in 3 games. But yeah, it is disappointing. And unfortunately, you come up with, you have short sample sizes, a game or two. You have to produce. You have short sample sizes. And unfortunately, today they didn't live up to it, right? I mean, they just did not. Collectively, by the way, 4 hits today. Collectively, they did not do enough. The top of the lineup, 0-for-11. It was just collective failure.
End of the game, 0-for-14.
14 up, 14 down from the Cubs bullpen. That's exactly right.
Because Freddie Fermin got a single there in the 5th inning.
And nobody reaches again.
And that was it. That was the last time a Padres player got on base. It was a Freddie Fermin single.
Where were you when?
I was here.
Right here.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to hear from Nick Pivetta on the other side. We do want to hear from you. We're here until 6 p.m. Padres fall to the Cubs in game 1 of this best of 3 wildcard series in Chicago's Wrigley Field. Our phone lines are open, 877-767-4760. That's 877-767-4760. Nick Pivetta on the other side. More of your calls reacting until 6 p.m. on Jon and Jim, San Diego Sports 760, and live on the iHeartRadio app.
This update is brought to you by Park Whiz. Cubs take game 1 at Wrigley, 3-1 over the Padres. They lead the series 1-0. Padres, Cubs game 2 tomorrow, win or go home. Dylan Cease will be on the mound for the Padres. And the Cubs are going bullpen day as Andrew Kittredge will start for the Cubs. He pitched in today's game out of the bullpen. Looking around baseball, earlier this morning, Tigers beat the Guardians 2-1 to take a 1-0 series lead there. Tariq Skubal, 14 strikeouts in the win. Yankees, Red Sox, top of the 4th inning. Yankees lead the Red Sox 1-0 there. And then Dodgers and Reds is the nightcap. 6:08 first pitch. Hunter Green on the mound for the Reds against Blake Snell for the Dodgers. Parking shouldn't slow you down. ParkWiz gives every driver a shortcut. Book ahead, save up to 50%, and skip the hassle of circling the block. Park smarter, park faster. ParkWiz. Download the ParkWiz app today and save every time you park.
Getting you all set for that drive home. Let's just start the show. Here's Jon and Jim.
All right, San Diego and Southern California, what's going on? This is hour 3 of Jon and Jim. We're going to hear from Nick Pivetta shortly. We're taking your calls as well. Jim just told you, as most of you know, the Padres have lost game 1 in Chicago to the Cubs this afternoon, 3-1. Padres had a brief lead. Cubs come back with a pair of solo home runs, and they win 3-1, setting up an elimination game for the Padres tomorrow at 12:08. All right, 877-767-4760. Let's start on the phones, then we'll get to Nick Pivetta. Larry in Encinitas wants to weigh in, and Larry, you're on with Jon and Jim.
Hey, Larry. Hey, Larry.
Hi, good afternoon, gentlemen. I hope you're well. Hey, I want to start with Machado and his lack of hustle and lack of sense of urgency, and he's hitting 210, 211 in the playoffs. Come on, he's a choke. And Schulte bunting with the 4th hitter. Come on, that's a quitter mentality. Show some stones. Get out there to play to win. If you don't play to win, you're playing to lose. And the ultimate slap in the face is the Cubs having a bullpen day tomorrow because the Dodgers beat us that way last year. They know that we're underperformers in the playoffs. We choke, and that they know they've got Schulte outmanaged because he can't beat bullpen days. Thanks, guys. I'm out. I'm sick of this crap. Later.
Appreciate you, Larry.
Well, one thing,
frustration.
I get it. Yeah. One thing, Larry, Mike Schilt did clarify postgame that bunt was a Jackson Merrill call, not a Mike Schilt decision.
Yep, he did say that. But I agree with you that it's basically instilled. If the Padres are a team that doesn't sacrifice, Merrill's never considering it.
Yeah, like when you're, I mean, I don't have a kid, but like when you teach Jones things and then
they follow your lead.
They follow your lead. And as they get older, they do what you have taught them to do. And that's kind of what you see with the 2025 Padres is early on, Mike Schilt instilled in this team that they're going to play for a run instead of the big inning.
Instead of 2. And the confounding part is Merrill, in his first plate appearance against Matthew Boyd, doubled.
Right.
So it's not like he's facing this guy he's had no success against or swung through 3 pitches and looked foolish all day. That wasn't the scenario. It was a leadoff base runner, and he bunts.
Yeah.
And the Padres do not score in the inning, and they bunted their cleanup hitter at the end of the day. Whoever decision it was, Jackson Merrill's, Mike Schiltz, yours, mine, they bunted their cleanup hitter. By the way, Cubs had first and second for the 3-hole hitter. They grounded into a double play. I almost prefer it.
Yeah.
Swinging away there gives you more of an opportunity than bunting with your 3-hole hitter.
Now, they did bunt there in the 8th inning.
And it worked.
But that was with their 9-hitter. And I believe that was his first bunt.
Since Maryland in like almost 5 years. Since
Maryland,
college.
like the Terrapins, the Terps.
Yeah. It was a perfect bunt, too, by the way.
It worked out well up the first base.
And they scored a run, and that was the insurance run they needed. They didn't have to score it because they won the game by only allowing a run. Padres only scored 1 run in that game. But still, that is the situation where you call for the bunt. You're 9 hitters up. You have 2 on, trying to stretch the lead. Yeah, the Jackson Merrill bunt, it wasn't what ended up costing the game, I feel like. But at the same time, it's the mindset and the mentality that you're going to bunt there as a cleanup hitter after the guy in front of you just got on via the walk. Horrific mindset.
Yeah, you're basically letting Matthew Boyd off the hook. All right, let's hear from Nick Pivetta. This starts with a recap right of his outing here today from Nick Pivetta.
Was able to command the strike zone, get ahead of guys, and put pressure on most of the game. Just 2 pitches is how it goes sometimes.
The one to Kelly looked like he was where you wanted, above the strike zone. He's put a good swing on it.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
What do you make of it? Kind of where things stand now and your confidence in these guys?
Yeah, I mean, confidence is huge. I mean, today's today, but we have a game tomorrow and we got a game the next day. So just flush it today. Pick the good things that happened today, and just move on tomorrow. No time to focus on this game. Just let's move on tomorrow.
You mentioned beforehand you're going to treat this like every other game. You feel like you did a good job of that?
Yeah. I allowed my adrenaline to take over, kind of stay in my lane, and just kind of do those things. I had a good season, so I just kind of relied on what I'd done, and just focused on attacking hitters.
Going heavy fastball, the game plan, the Cubs, that's not their best.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I think it's more of just a game plan thing. That's I just kind of continue to throw pitches in the strike zone, attack with my heater, and realize that that was a strength of mine today, and I'm not usually gonna stray away from that. And that's just kind of how it's kind of, I mean, for me, it's game by game. It could have been they were, taking good swings on my fastball and I could have gone heavy off speed or more off speed. But for me today, it was just had good quality fastballs and able to execute in the zone. And just things worked out pretty well.
That fastball that Kelly hit, that worked for you today, the one up there.
Yep.
Do you think he was waiting for it or sitting?
To me, that one it's a head scratcher. It's hats off to him kind of situation. He took a really interesting swing on the fastball before that on the down and away. So I just figured attack him again with the fastball. He's able to put a good swing on it. Good. Anything
How jarring is it to be going as good as you are and just have 2 pitches kind of define the afternoon?
I don't think it's jarring. It's part of baseball. I gave up 3 hits today. For me, it's this is the baseball park that we're in. It's a day game, Chicago. But I mean, I need to execute. Especially the say hey pitch. I need to execute that pitch a little bit better. Good.
He was good. I thought he was very good in that spot. He said the right things. I feel a little bit for Nick Pivetta, not a little bit, a lot. He gave his team a chance to win, and they didn't come through. At all. They didn't come through for him, and we don't know if we see Nick Pivetta again this year. Now it's on everyone else for us to see Nick Pivetta again this year.
Yeah, there is virtually no blame that I'm putting on today's game with Nick Pivetta.
Mm-hmm.
You go on the road, 5 innings, 2 runs. Yeah, you give up back-to-back home runs, but there were solo shots. And wasn't like you had the base pass flooded all day, and then you gave up a 3-run homer and then another solo shot. Like, you pitched really well. How many strikeouts did you have today? Like 7, 9?
9.
Yeah, he was
after the home run, the second home run, straight
struck out the side. He was really, really good today. There's no blame on Nick Pivetta. If you're blaming Nick Pivetta for today's game or putting any of the blame on him for giving up those 2 home runs, you got to look somewhere else first, because that's not where I'd put the blame at all.
When the opponent scores 3 runs, you need to win.
Yeah.
You're not going to win scoring 1 run. They did it 5 times in the regular season, and guess what? They're not doing it in the postseason. That's hard. Mm-hmm. You're at Wrigley Field. You're facing good lineups. All these teams are good. You're not winning games historically 1-0 in the postseason.
And to see the Cubs today, if you just took away the names, you took away the team names, if you just showed me a box score and I didn't know where they were playing, right? Okay. And you showed me that that this bullpen retired 14 in a row, I'd be like, oh, it's the Padres. No, that was the Cubs. The Cubs bullpen today was what everybody's been talking about with the Padres bullpen. Everyone's like, oh, the Padres bullpen's dominant. We've been talking about this lately. It's not such a dominant bullpen, especially when you lose Jason Adam and Jeremiah Estrada and Adrian Morejon have pitched poorly in September.
They have one dominant reliever. They have the best reliever in the sport. His name is Mason Miller.
And that's
the problem is it's like having Shohei Ohtani in an Angels lineup. He hits every 9th batter.
Well, I mean, Morejon did get out of trouble today.
True.
He's good.
I'm not saying, but I'm saying that
I know what you're saying.
For the super pen, it's a superstar in your pen. Is that true? Like Robert Suarez is susceptible.
100%.
And Jeremiah Estrada has been terrible. Yeah. Like, if we're going to put it fairly, Jeremiah Estrada has been awful. Now, there's some auxiliary pieces that have been very good. The David Morgans, Wandy Peralta, they have some pieces that have performed for them. But when you talk about elite pitchers in their bullpen, it's Mason Miller, then a big gap, and everyone else. Now, Adrian Morejon, okay, I get it, but he did not pitch as well down the stretch. You want to put Morejon in that category comparable to Miller, that's fine. But is it a super pen or is it a superstar or 2 in your pen?
If Jason Adam was healthy, it's a super pen.
I agree. Yeah, that's a big difference.
But without Jason Adam, it's not as good as it could be. Like that's where the difference comes in, is the numbers that people are looking at are over the totality of the season. And Jason Adam was a big part of that for most of the year until he got hurt and blew out his quad.
Mm-hmm.
And once he blew out his quad, the super pen wasn't a super pen anymore, in my opinion. Like, it just wasn't. Jason Adam, you could argue, was their best reliever up to that point. And you lose him, and now you replace him with Mason Miller. That's great. But then you tax guys like Jeremiah Estrada and Adrian Morhone, and you see that their numbers just aren't as good. And today, Jeremiah Estrada did not pitch well. He didn't. And you needed to throw up a 0 in that inning, and you couldn't get the job done. You know? So yeah, it was a little bit of a role reversal today. If you have been hyping up the Padres bullpen, where the Cubs pitched like the Padres bullpen, and the Padres bullpen, other than Mason Miller, was like, eh.
I have a feeling tomorrow for the Padres is the same as the Cubs. I have a feeling it's a bullpen game. I think they treat the entire game based on what Schultz said post-game. We'll see where the game takes us. I think Dylan Cease is starting. I think they have zero expectations.
That leash is
so short.
3 batters.
So, and now they might get creative like with the Kings or the Vasquezes. I have no idea what they're going to do, but maybe Cease will be great, and then he gives you some length. But if he's anything other than great, I think it could be kind of a de facto bullpen type feel. Elimination game where everything is on the table. Are you really rolling dice with Dylan Cease for a long period of time? And we agree, no.
First sign of trouble, someone's up in the pen. I mean, it is red alert from the word go. That's how tomorrow's going to have to be. Everybody's available. It's an elimination game. You worry about game 3 when you get to game 3.
Right. There has to be one.
There's no game 3 if you don't win game 2.
Jim fact.
Now down 1-0. So, yeah, everything's on the table tomorrow. I'm sure they're going over that tonight about their strategy and all the scenarios. If Dylan Cease looks wobbly in the first, and if he gives up a run, you're going quickly to the bullpen, and then probably Michael King to bridge the gap, and then you'll go from there.
Preller, order a tortellini pizza.
No,
and talk about this as a group.
No, order
or go deep dish.
Yeah, go deep dish
and talk about this. Make this a group think, as they like to say.
Or if you want to say screw Chicago, just go get some like sushi.
Yeah, but you don't want like an upset stomach tomorrow. 877-767-4760 if you want to weigh in. Let's go to Richard on line 1. Richard, you're on with Jon and Jim. Thanks for calling in.
Hey guys, remember when we were little kids and the manager of teams would do what you thought they would do because you were logical, smart kids?
Okay.
I wasn't a smart kid.
But there weren't moves that were made that were just befuddling.
Mm-hmm.
Just real quick. I've been a Padre fan since the early 70s, and I want to see them win so badly, but there's just too much nonsense. This lineup, when it was put out this morning, the first thing I thought of when I saw those 3 lefties in a row was that's going to come back to bite them. It bit them in the 2nd inning, okay? And you got Estrada being put in the 8th inning when they've got to keep it to 1 run. The only thing I'm surprised about is he didn't give up a home run, that they actually had to work to give up a run, but I still knew it was going to happen. And just the decisions of this team, like what is Fernando doing? His approach was ridiculous today. He was deviating from what he was doing all season. The Padres won't release Estrada. They'll probably extend him. They're going to get blown out tomorrow. What are your thoughts?
Hey, Richard, stay on the line. I want to ask you a couple questions. To your points here, having 3 lefties bat consecutively in the order, what would you have done there in that situation instead?
You mean in terms of the lineup construction or in game?
No, lineup construction, because that was your first point. Without Ramon Laureano to break up those lefties, what do you do?
I would have dropped Bogarts down and found a way to get another right-handed bat, so there weren't 3 consecutive. That's why they didn't score. Well, first of all, Xander should have gone on contact, but they didn't score that. They didn't score that 2nd run because there were 3 lefties. And I want to tell you something else. When Manny was on third base and there was that play that was made by Swanson, when Swanson made that catch, all of his momentum was going towards center field. Manny should have gone. He might have made it. There was nothing on that throw.
What were the lefties in this game?
I think it would have been out by a mile, but I understand your frustration, Richard. Thanks for the call, buddy. Appreciate it.
The lefties in this game, we haven't even mentioned this. The lefties in this game, and they didn't only face left-handed pitching, are 1 for 16? O'Rise, Merrill, O'Hearn, Sheets, Cronenworth?
I mean, the team only had 4 hits. Bogarts had 2 of them.
1 for 16 isn't as good as what the righties did.
Yeah, I mean, Fermin had a hit, Bogarts had 2 hits, and Merrill had a hit.
1 for 16. But you can't. I'm not saying you shouldn't hit the lefties. Mm-hmm. Now, with 5 lefties, 4 righties, you can still avoid 3 straight.
But you're going to have a scenario where 4 out of 5 are going to be lefties.
Yes. I mean, yes, by and large, without doing a lot of tinkering.
Yeah.
Without doing a lot of tinkering.
So do you want to drop Bogarts there and have him hitting 6th instead of 5th and go 3 of your first 5 are lefties?
It's 6 of one and half dozen of the other is what it is.
I mean, the Ramon Liriano injury could
significant
be in the end just a massive, massive injury.
Could have been a difference today.
Could have been
a difference in a game like that.
And there was another play too. I don't think anything came of it. But Jessica Mendoza, she didn't mention this. And I said it too in real time.
Mm-hmm.
There was a bloop single to left. And I was like, Ramon Liriano would have caught that.
I didn't think he would have, but she did say that.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I mean,
maybe. You're right.
Schultz said prior to the series that Wrigley is a very tough field to play defensively.
And it proved it today.
Yeah.
With some of those fly balls. All right. More of your reaction and our reaction on the other side. Padres lose to the Cubs. They're facing elimination tomorrow at 12:08 Pacific. This is Jon and Jim, San Diego Sports 760 and live on the iHeartRadio app. All right, Jon and Jim. We've been here for you all afternoon. Our phone lines are open. If you want to vent, 877-767-4760. You can text us, 70470. Started with the word team. Texts have been coming in as you would expect following this disappointing game one for the Padres.
Yeah, 619 number says Ken Rosenthal should be the one to ask Manny if there's a sense of urgency.
Hey, Manny, it's Ken.
Could you imagine?
No.
Another 619 number says, how many day games did the Pods win? Shadows play into it. Offers can't continue from Jack. Thank you.
They won a lot of day games.
Yeah.
By the way.
951 number, Larry Joe here. Maybe this is going to be the Padres postseason of first. Maybe they'll be the first team in the wild card to lose game one and go on to win the series, then on their way to winning their first World Series. ... Maybe.
I mean, listen, crazier things have been done in the history of sports than overcoming a 1-game-to-none deficit. It's just been hard in this wild card format the last 3 years. I mean, I guarantee you there's going to be teams that are overcoming 1-game-to-none deficits in the wild card moving forward. This is not going to continue for forever.
I'd be curious to see how many of the home teams that won game one had the road team force a game three. I know the Padres did it in 2022, but I don't know how many times that's happened.
There's only been obviously these 12 series.
Yeah.
That's a good point. What do you got, bro?
Padres are 33-24 in day games this year.
Yeah, so they've been really good in day games this year. So 877-767-4760. I mean, at some point you turn the page and say, well, can they win tomorrow in this bullpen day for the Cubs opposite Dylan Cease for the Padres? Can they do what Manny said? Hey,
I got to show up.
You know,
they can win, but
just turn the page and just be us. You know, we've been good all year. Just turn the page. Can't do anything about today.
Manny, no, you haven't.
Yeah, I mean, it hasn't really played out that way.
Like, you can't be like, hey, we've been a great road team. No, you haven't.
The good teams on the road have been the kryptonite. Not the good teams at home. Not good teams. It's the good teams on the road have been the Padres' kryptonite.
Yeah. Look, positive Jim for a moment here.
Okay.
Positive Jim. You know, I get it. Everything is against the Padres now after losing game one. How the offense performed today, it just feels like same old, same old. I get that. But look, it's not some crazy thing to say that they can win tomorrow, right? Like,
of course not.
They can win tomorrow.
Of course.
It's going to be difficult.
They'll be like plus 115.
But they can win tomorrow.
Yeah.
And if you win tomorrow, guess where all the pressure goes? Right back to the Cubs. Because they're the favorites. They're at home. They're expected to win this series, even though it's a slight favorite. When you have home field, you're expected to win this series. I mean, imagine if it was in the Padres, if the Padres and Cubs roles were reversed and we're at Petco and the Padres win game one, but then lose game two, guess where all the pressure goes? Right back to the Padres.
Yeah.
So winning tomorrow, I know it feels like a tough task right now, but I mean, when you put it just as bluntly as go and win one game on the road, can they do that? They can. And if they do, we'll see how, they look after the game if they do win it. But the pressure then goes back on the Cubs for game three, and then it's all hands on deck. And so, yeah, I mean,
they're even money to win tomorrow. At minus 105, Cubs are minus 115. They're even money to win tomorrow. So yes, we're not asking for the world. I mean, they're fully capable of winning. They were fully capable of winning today. Unfortunately, they didn't capitalize when they should have. It boiled down to one or two opportunities. That's been an issue for the Padres. You have to capitalize on those one or two opportunities. So again, we're here until 6 p.m. We'd love to hear from you. We can get to some of these texts, 70470. Start it with the word team.
Has anybody asked Merrill about his decision to bunt there in the fourth inning?
I haven't seen anything from Jackson Merrill postgame. Have you?
I did actually see something from.
Okay.
I'll have to.
I want to hear from Jackson Merrill.
I'll have to see if he said it.
I almost want to hear from him regardless.
Yeah, Marty posted something. A quote says, "It's a game we've got to win. That's the easiest way for us to think about it and not read too deep into it," talking about tomorrow's game. He also did talk about the bunt, so we can get that sound for you up later.
I want to hear from Jackson Merrill on the other side.
Okay, I can get that sound to Brent.
Okay, we're going to hear from Jackson Merrill coming up. We want to hear from you. 877-767-4760 here until 6 p.m. as the Cubs take game one. This is Jon and Jim, San Diego Sports 760 and live on the iHeartRadio app. All right, hey guys, it is Jon and Jim again for the all-new Jamul Casino Resort, the Players Place. We've been telling you about the hotel and spa at Jamul Casino Resort. It's now open. It's the next level of luxury. It's arrived. You can treat yourself to a stunning new stay, rooftop relaxation, indulgent spa treatments, all the thrills of Jamul Casino Resort, now all in one unforgettable destination.
And savor San Diego's ultimate endless dining experience at Jamul 23, from their world-famous lobster brunch served every morning, their VIP endless dining experience each evening, indulgent chef-curated specialties, fresh seafood, prime cuts, and decadent desserts, all with stunning panoramic views.
Also, thanks to your votes, the hotel and restaurants at Jamul Casino Resort have once again been named the best of 2025 in the San Diego Union Tribune. Make sure to check out the all-new Jamul Casino Resort, the Players Place.
All right, this update is brought to you by Park Whiz. Cubs take game 1 at Wrigley Field today over the Padres 3-1. Game 2 tomorrow afternoon, 12:08 first pitch. Dylan Cease will be on the mound for the Padres. Cubs are going bullpen day, at least to start. Andrew Kittredge will start for the Cubs. He pitched a scoreless inning in today's game. Other scores around baseball this morning: Tigers took a 1-0 series lead as they beat the Guardians 2-1. Tariq Skubal, fantastic, had 14 strikeouts in the win. Yankees and Red Sox. Yankees lead the Red Sox 1-0 in game 1. It's the bottom of the 5th inning in New York. And Dodgers Reds tonight at Dodger Stadium, 6:08 first pitch. Hunter Green on the mound for the Reds. Blake Snell on the mound for the Dodgers. Parking shouldn't slow you down. ParkWiz gives every driver a shortcut. Book ahead, save up to 50%, and skip the hassle of circling the block. Park smarter, park faster. ParkWiz. Download the ParkWiz app today and save every time you park.
All right, we're about to hear from Jackson Merrill. Post-game, disappointing day, obviously, at Wrigley Field. I mean, so many hopes, right? You get off to the 1-0 lead. Nick Pavetta's pitching beautifully. And it's hard to sit on a 1-0 lead all day. And Pavetta allowed a couple of home runs, and the Padres just never punched back. They punch first, they get punched by the Cubs, and then there's no return, right? There's just no, they're just listless there against the bullpen, and that has to change tomorrow. It just has to change tomorrow. Otherwise, it's a very long offseason for the and there's going to be so many questions, and I don't want to start talking about the questions right now. I really don't. There's time. There's time. Off seasons are so damn long.
Yeah.
So I don't want to start talking about tomorrow afternoon. You know what we're doing tomorrow? 2:40, Jim. If they lose, well, this guy's future, this guy's tenure. That's what we're doing tomorrow in 22 hours. If they lose, I don't want to do that yet.
And yes, the situational hitting today was poor. The top of your lineup went over. You got a Cubs bullpen that retired 14 in a row.
Mm-hmm.
I think one of the biggest feelings after today's game, along with the fact that, you're now down 1-0 to the Cubs here and you're facing elimination tomorrow at Wrigley Field with Dylan Cease on the mound, is that it felt like deja vu all over again. The PTSD of 24 consecutive scoreless innings from last year, it felt like, here we go again. I know they scored in this game to break that drought.
It did.
But dating back to last year, they have scored 1 run in 33 innings in the postseason, being completely shut down by the opposing team's bullpen. And, the deja vu, here we go again. You feel it after game 1.
It's a good point. I mean, 1 run in 33 innings it's not as bad as 0 in 24, but it's not much better.
It's still bad because you've lost all 3 of those games.
How often in the regular season are they scoring 1 run over a 33 inning stretch?
They've done it.
They have, and it's
it's not good.
It's hard to watch.
It's really hard to watch.
It is very hard to watch.
And also too, we'll see what they do in game 2 and 3. The series is not over, by the way.
No, it's not. I mean, I agree with that.
Well, it's not over, but play your best baseball going into the postseason. They won 7 of 8, and then they go out and lay a dud in game 1.
How many times did I say? I mean, who cares if you go 1-7 in your last 8 or 7-1? All that matters is what you do in game 1. If they lost game 1, what did we say? Sky's falling. If they won game 1, what did we say? Where's the World Series parade? Right. And it's as simple as that. That's how fandom works. We have Jackson Merrill, Brent. Where's this start? Does it start with a question? No, it doesn't start with a question.
It just starts.
All right. Let's hear from Jackson Merrill.
Player game, keep playing our game. That's what I'm saying for us.
You guys had a couple opportunities early today, not come through in responses that kind of your eyes would differentiate the game.
I don't know. It could have gone either way. I mean, like I said, all the time is baseball. So I'm not going to say something that happens to not happy. It's just baseball. That's how it works. So come tomorrow, play our game, see what happens. We were on the outfield, see a win. Maybe allowed a couple of their balls to get out, and you guys maybe had a couple of them knocked down. Could you just kind of talk about just how different, how much it changes out there? Inning dating.
The wind really wasn't. It wasn't really on one today. It didn't really have an effect too much on the ball that much. I'd say the sun was more real than anything. The wind really wasn't acting up so much.
You think it's through the decision bunt in the 4th inning and kind of what you saw there?
Yeah, it's just getting a guy over. It's about baseball. You got to score a run any way we can. Bogey barreled him up the first at bat, so lucky around opportunity. Just get a knock right here. So what happens. You got a knock, it just wasn't. So, seems like all season you guys have liberty in those situations to make your own decisions. Was that a sign that you got, or they decide? Some people can call me full if they want, but I don't care. I'm trying to play baseball and just advance runners and get people to score position. Play the game slowly, take it slowly. Sometimes it just comes in. It's tough lefty too. I've been hitting really good and I feel really good, but it's tough out there, especially with a guy on base, how quick he gets on the sliders he does. Just read the situation and score. You do that.
Sounds like Mike Schilt.
Yeah. Now people are complaining about the audio. Basically, what he said there regarding the bunt was try to score a run any way possible type of mentality. And he mentioned something about hard hit contact from Bogaerts off of Boyd earlier in the game. So giving Bogaerts another opportunity with a runner in scoring position there.
And he came through, but it was just an infield hit.
Right. But
he also said that Boyd was a tough lefty, but he also had a double off Boyd earlier in the game. And he also said that you kind of have to slow play your way into an inning or a run, which again is an interesting mentality to have. I get it. Runs in the postseason are at a premium. If you can stretch a 1-run lead into a 2-run lead, that feels significant. And I would agree with that. But you're batting 4th in your lineup for a reason. And the reason is not to move someone 90 feet. It's to move yourself 180 feet or more. So by bunting at the end of the day, they played themselves out of something that could have been more. What they ended up getting was nothing. Mm-hmm. But even if they got something, they gave up 1/3 of their outs in the inning by bunting. So he did say, like Mike Schultz said, it was his decision to try to move the runner.
I love Jackson Merrill. I think he's a fantastic baseball player. He's a very smart baseball player.
He is.
He plays 100% all the time. You love to have him on your team. And I know hindsight here is something that we've talked about all day long.
Right.
I will argue that decision that he made there till I'm blue in the face because I thought it was dumb. I know it's a hindsight take. Mm-hmm. I get it.
No, you said it in real time, actually, because you texted me.
I did.
Why is he bunting?
I did send that to you in real time. But still, I will argue that against a professional baseball player until I'm blue in the face. That was a stupid, stupid bunt. When you are the cleanup hitter of this team and you had a double in the first inning, I know it wasn't a hard hit ball.
It was like a flare.
But giving up outs in the postseason that way when you're the cleanup hitter, to me, idiotic. Sorry.
For me,
stupid.
That's a little strong because they were leading in the game. So
they weren't up 5-0.
By the way, it wasn't Jackson Merrill that didn't come through with a runner at 3rd and 1 out.
Okay. You're right.
Okay. So if we're going to put it on Jackson Merrill's decision, at the end of the day, it wasn't Jackson Merrill that batted with nobody out in the 2nd inning and a runner at 3rd. It wasn't Jackson Merrill that batted later in the inning with a runner at 3rd and 1 out.
I'm isolating this certain play. I'm not saying it was the reason it cost them the game. It wasn't. The reason, the things that cost them the game was not getting the runners in from 3rd with less than 2 outs. That's why they lost today. The Jackson Merrill bunt is not why they lost. I'm just upset and frustrated because it's the continued mindset from this team that shows up in situations where you're like, what are you doing?
No, I agree. I do agree with that. It can definitely be second guessed 100%. In real time, I wasn't. If they're down 1-0, I'm like, what are you doing? I get it. It's a cleanup hitter. Why are you bunting? I get that. I didn't see it as egregious, but I understand with the benefit of hindsight,
I guarantee you this. I guarantee you, if you live by the sack bunt, you will die by the sack bunt. End of discussion.
Yeah, but here's the thing. They lived by it and got to the postseason with their 90 wins, and it's the strategy all year. They popped the graphic up. They lead baseball in sack bunts.
And guess what? They're on the verge of being eliminated.
But not because of the sack bunt.
It's not because of the sack bunt?
Maybe. It's because of everything.
It's because of everything. You're right. But I'm just saying that sack bunt today, what did we talk about? Every single play, every single move in the postseason is going to be magnified to the nth degree. We are going to be talking about sack bunts for multiple segments if that's what's going to happen. Right? We're not talking about a sack bunt in the 4th inning of a game in June for multiple segments on the show.
Right.
But in the postseason, when you lose 3-1, it's magnified. And when you're the cleanup hitter of this team and you lay down a sack bunt after Manny draws a walk before you, that's going to be magnified.
You know what's magnified to me is Bogart's doubles. There's an error. He's on 3rd with nobody out in the 2nd inning. And guess what? Ryan O'Hearn, Gavin Sheets, and Jake Cronenworth do.
For
nothing. Now, O'Hearn put a good swing. We talked about it with Swanson.
Yeah.
You want to magnify something after the Bogart single, after the Merrill bunt, the play by Swanson going back on O'Hearn, and then Gavin Sheets flies out. So they had chances even with Buntgate, even with the sacrifice. And by the way, if you're going to live by the bunt and die by the bunt, why don't you bunt with the runner at 3rd with 1 out or nobody out? If you're going to live by the bunt and die by the bunt.
Because this team is ass backwards in how they operate.
Because if there's a time to bunt.
I know, I get it.
Safety squeeze.
We had a caller earlier today. It's like, why don't you do a safety squeeze there?
Yeah. So
if you're so hell-bent on bunting.
That's the thing. So you're right. The interesting thing today is it didn't come from the dugout. That's the interesting. If they're hell-bent on bunting, okay. It's one thing if Mike Schilt's calling for bunts. You get a bunt, you get a bunt, you get a bunt.
Yeah.
It's another thing when the players are calling their own name to bunt.
And Brent, if you could find it just real quick, the Mike Schilt sound when he's asked about the bunt, I think it's towards the end of that presser. I want to hear it again because it didn't sound like Mike Schilt was like pro Jackson Merrill bunting there.
Yeah, but he fell on the sword. He's like, it wasn't my decision, but it's like he justified it because of course he did.
Of course he did. But I just want to hear.
Will.
I just want to hear the tone. That's all.
Yeah,
like
no, I was surprised he was like that was on him
because usually he takes all the blame. He'll make sure that none of his players get any blame for anything. You got it, Brent?
Here's Schilt.
Hi, Mike. The Jackson Merrill bunt there in the 4th, the runner on 1st, was that something he did, something that was called in, and sort of what was the thinking behind it?
Yeah, Jackson's on his own there, seeing the game, getting it over. It worked out to the point where we got Manny over and Bogey infield hit. We got a chance to, extend the lead. That's what we're looking to do. And we just couldn't, we got our sac fly with 2 outs.
Right, because Gavin Sheets flied out to end the inning. They didn't get their sac fly with 1 out.
Very short and to the point there.
But I didn't think he was critical of.
No,
I thought he was defending him.
Yeah, I don't want to harp on it too much because you're right. and I agree, it's not the reason why they lost today.
It's among reasons potentially,
but it goes towards why I'm upset with it. Is I'm upset with the mindset,
right?
More than anything.
Yeah, I agree with that.
More than anything, I'm upset with the mindset that in a postseason game, you're the cleanup hitter of this team, and you're hot, by the way.
Yeah, he's been red hot.
And you hit a double in the second inning of the game.
Mm-hmm.
And the mindset that you have in that situation after you just watched Manny Machado draw a walk is to bunt. That's what pisses me off the most, is the mindset of this team when, you know, you're not seeing Seiya Suzuki lay down a bunt in the fourth inning if a guy draws a walk in front of him. You're not seeing Giancarlo Stanton lay down a bunt in the fourth inning if Judge draws a walk in front of him. Rarely are you going to see in the fourth inning of a postseason game the cleanup hitter lay down a bunt after the guy in front of him drew a walk to lead off the inning. That's what pisses me off the most.
True, but also, and we can continue the conversation on the other side, I sat there in the second inning when they didn't get the second run in and said that's going to be costly. And I sat there in the fourth inning when they didn't get the run in and said that's going to be costly. And guess what? It was costly. All right, more of our reaction and your reaction. 877-767-4760 here until 6 p.m. Jon and Jim. All right, Jon and Jim, San Diego Sports 760. Padres drop game 1, facing elimination in game 2, turning to Dylan Cease, who spent most of his career in Chicago. Southside with the White Sox. He will be pitching at Wrigley Field tomorrow at 12:08, trying to extend the Padres season at least another day.
Hey, last time he pitched at Wrigley, 7 innings, 12 strikeouts. That'd be good if he did that tomorrow.
Was that in April?
No, that was last year.
Okay, I was going to say I don't remember that in April.
No,
when they lost 2 out of 3.
Yeah.
You gave his road numbers have been awful. He's got 1 win this year. He's got a ERA over 5, right? 1-9, 5 and
1-9, 5.58 ERA.
Yeah, and that's why. And by the way, it's not just Cease that would have the short leash. I think tomorrow. I think you have a short leash facing elimination. You're willing to do things you don't do in June against the Miami Marlins. You shorten leashes when you are literally playing for another day. So you're willing to try anything to put yourself in a position to extend your season.
May 8th, Padres at Wrigley Field. Padres won the game. He went 7 innings, allowed 1 hit, 2 walks, 12 strikeouts.
This is May 2024.
Correct.
Yeah, it's been a while.
That was a season high in strikeouts, by the way, last year.
Okay. Well, that's been a little while.
Just a little bit.
So we know what happened last postseason against the Dodgers.
Awful. And you also have to put Dylan Cease's postseason numbers up there as well. Not just his road numbers this season, his postseason numbers.
You mean in his career?
In his career.
Yeah, he's got an ERA like over 12, doesn't he?
Let's see here. Postseason. His postseason career numbers: 4 games, 3 starts, 7 2/3 innings pitched, a 12.91 ERA. He's allowed in the postseason, John, in 7 2/3 innings, 12 hits, 11 earned runs, 2 homers, 6 walks, 8 strikeouts.
Not great.
It's the opposite of great.
It's the opposite. Now, again, in his career at Wrigley Field, 3 starts, a 2.50 ERA. Let's go back to the phones. 877-767-4760. Dave wants to weigh in.
Here we go.
And Dave is back with us on Jon and Jim. Tie this to TV revenue, Dave.
I tell you what, guys, I'm not surprised. I mean, so I'm not as despondent as maybe some people, but look, we talked all year about the starting pitching, and especially when these guys are giving up home runs like lollipops, that's a problem because you have a Shildt team that, as you all have pointed out, that has been built on this.
You're not putting this on Pivetta, are you? You're not putting this on Pivetta, are you?
No, not completely. No. Understand this, Jim. The margin for error for these pitchers is minimal because of the offensive lack thereof. And so, it doesn't help to give up the home runs. No question about it. So I'm not putting it on them, Jim. Please don't misunderstand. What I'm saying is that the way this team is structured, it's not a comeback team. And they play for 1 run at a time. We've talked about this all year long, and to expect somehow that, the sky is going to part and everything's going to be different because it's the playoffs. I'm not buying into that. So, who knows? I mean, Dylan Cease, I'd rather have 100 different guys up there tomorrow than Dylan Cease, but we don't have that luxury. So it's just a shame. It's a shame because so many years have been wasted off of the Machado period or era. And this man continues to not be able to produce. The top of the lineup continues to not be able to produce when the light is shining its brightest. And that's, I think, the most troubling to me.
Appreciate you, Dave. Thanks for the call. Yeah, I mean, I'm not putting it on Nick Pivetta. In fact, not only am I not putting it on him, I'm going to do the opposite. I'll say Pivetta really gave you a good chance to win, and I would take it every time, and I think you got to win that game a majority of the time, and they lost it.
Yeah, I'll give him credit.
Yeah, credit for keeping them in that game, in that spot. He did enough.
Yeah. The home runs, I get it. Because the Padres don't hit home runs, it's magnified when the Padres pitchers give up home runs. Because you're like, oh, that must be nice, right? To watch a team that actually can hit the ball over the fence. So I get it from that standpoint. But yeah, I'm with you. I give credit, a lot of credit to Nick Pivetta today. I thought he pitched his ass off. He was fantastic up until those 2 home runs and absolutely gave them a chance to win. If I told you before the game, Pivetta goes 5 innings, gives up 2 earned runs, would you take it? I would have taken it in a second.
An aside that means nothing, cancel the Vetter Cub. When Eddie Vetter is singing Take Me Out to the Ball Game and is a diehard Cubs fan, as we already know.
What are we doing, guys?
Wearing powder blue.
What are we doing here?
You just look foolish.
What are we doing?
You look just now again. It wasn't anyone's idea.
It was.
I mean, it wasn't our idea.
It was someone's idea.
I know, but I mean, it's a ridiculous one, and it looks really ridiculous when you see something like that play out.
And then you have Jake Arrieta throw out first pitch. Former Padres great.
They're really trolling.
They're trolling, man.
They're trolling in game
They are
one.
trolling.
Make them pay for that.
Now, Jake Arrieta is a Cubs legend because they won a World Series.
Not as much with the Padres.
No.
Not as much with the Padres. All right, let's go back to the phones. 877-767-4760 if you want to vent or discuss what happened here today. Eric is on with Jon and Jim. Thanks, Eric.
Hey, can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
You're on, buddy.
Oh, sorry. I think that Nick Pivetta, really did his best. I think he really did good.
Mm-hmm.
I watched the whole game, and I don't think I've ever felt more confident watching him pitch, watching PCA whiff on a lot of his fastballs. I just really think the one thing that really got to them was the fact that he kind of just got, I think, too used to, he got too confident throwing the fastball, didn't throw that much breaking balls, which he did strike out a few on the curve and the sweeper. But I really think that's, they both hit the homers on the fastballs, which I think they really just kind of sat on it as soon, because he was kind of, he just kept hitting the fastball, or kept pitching the fastball a little too much, and each at bat he kept throwing it. And I feel like that's kind of what, that's how the Cubs switched their mindset, kind of just wait for the fastball.
Thanks for the call, Eric. I get what you're saying, but it's not about the fastball. It's about the location. The location of the fastball to Seiya was middle in. He was throwing that fastball up in the zone, which was really effective early on because the Cubs can't hit a high fastball, and they were swinging and they were missing. And it was a really effective early in the game. That pitch to Seiya, that thing was just middle in.
The impressive one was the Carson Kelly one.
That was,
because that's where he was having success all day long, and for Kelly to turn that around was impressive. And by the way, Pivetta he was throwing it at some ridiculous clip, his fastball, right? Much more than he throws in the regular season, but he was having so much success with it.
I know.
Problem is, the big leagues, I mean, that second time through, nobody even gets third time.
No.
Second time through, these guys make adjustments. Exactly.
See, one of the things is, and they kept bringing it up on the broadcast, is the Cubs don't hit fastballs. They're not a good fastball hitting team. And that's why Pivetta kept throwing the fastball. Yeah. And, with the exception of those 2 specific fastballs, it was working.
He threw it very well. He threw it
great.
Well.
I have nothing but praise for Nick Pivetta today. Nothing but praise. He pitched his ass off today on the road, a hostile environment, game 1. He came out and he was phenomenal. And this, to me, it's all about the offense once again.
How often are you going to win scoring 1 run?
You're not. In a postseason game, you're not winning games 1-0.
As the Yankees lead the Red Sox 1-0 in the 7th inning.
Other than that.
All right, final hour of Jon and Jim. We want your reaction. 877-767-4760. We know you're driving home. We know you're agitated. We know you want to vent. 877-767-4760. More reaction from players and coaches and managers and you. 877-767-4760. Final hour of Jon and Jim. We're here until 6. Coming up next on San Diego Sports 760 and live on the iHeartRadio app.
All right, this update's brought to you by ParkWiz. Padres lose game 1 this afternoon, 3-1 to the Cubs. Game 2 tomorrow, winner go home. 12:08 first pitch at Wrigley Field. Dylan Cease on the mound for the Padres. Cubs are going bullpen day with Andrew Kitchener, who pitched in today's game, pitched a scoreless inning for the Cubbies. Around baseball today, Guardians, Tigers, game 1 of their series. Tigers won 2-1. Tariq Skubal, 14 strikeouts in the win. And right now, Yankees, Red Sox, we're in the top of the 7th inning. Red Sox are threatening runners on second and third with just 1 out. Yankees lead the game 1-0. Dodgers, Reds, first pitch at Dodger Stadium, 6:08 p.m. Blake Snell on the mound for the Dodgers against Hunter Green for the Reds. Parking shouldn't slow you down. ParkWiz gives every driver a shortcut. Book ahead, save up to 50%, and skip the hassle of circling the block. Park smarter, park faster. ParkWiz. Download the ParkWiz app today and save every time you park.
Getting you all set for that drive home. Let's just start the show. Here's Jon and Jim.
All right, San Diego and Southern California, what's going on? This is the final hour of Jon and Jim. Padres facing elimination on Wednesday at 12:08 p.m. Pacific. Game 2 of a best-of-3 series. Dylan Cease. Andrew Kittredge is the pitching matchup for tomorrow. Game 2, a must-win game, obviously, for the Padres. We do want to hear from you. 877-767-4760 if you want to weigh in, if you're driving home, if you want to vent. 877-767-4760 or text us. 70470. Start it with the word team. This segment, Jim.
Yes, John.
We are giving away Aztec tickets for Friday night.
Oh, must be nice.
Against Colorado State Snapdragon Stadium. So do not go anywhere.
First conference game of the season for the Aztecs.
First conference game, trying to get to 4-1. This segment, in the next 10 or 12 minutes, we will give away Aztec tickets for Friday night. Now, around baseball today, Padres lose, Guardians lose at home in an epic game. And the Yankees were sitting on a 1-0 lead all day behind Max Fried. And guess what? It's hard to do. The Red Sox against the Yankees bullpen, which has been awful this year, have taken a 2-1 lead in the 7th inning.
Situational hitting.
Yeah, well, that was a base hit, right? They scored 2 runs.
Yep.
Just good hitting.
Yeah.
But again, like Yankees were you can't sit 1-0 all day. It's hard to win a game 1-0.
Can't sit 1-0. You got to score some runs. You got to put the pressure on. You know, it just, yeah, it's, every single run matters in the postseason, but at the same time, you can't expect to win many postseason games 1-0. I would love to see how many games were won 1-0 in the postseason over the last 5 years.
How about history?
That would be a crazy stat.
How many 1-0 games have there been in MLB postseason history? Now, going back to the 1800s, I'm sure a lot, but
right,
it can't be a million. I'm sorry, 1-0. Up through 2013 in the history of baseball, there were 46, according to ChatGPT. Well, that's since 1800.
Yeah, so
1877.
How many thousands of postseason games have there been?
I mean, I can't believe there's 46 that have actually ended 1-0. But the point is, we've seen low-scoring games today. Of course we have. We've seen aces thrown today. We've seen very good pitching around baseball.
Yeah.
You're putting best feet forward. Max Fried, for example, Nick Pivetta, tonight Blake Snell.
Crochet.
Yeah, I mean, you're seeing great pitching.
Skubal.
Boyd's been good. Boyd at home was, what did you tell me, 12-1?
12-1.
Now, he's not a winner, but the Cubs are. And I bet their record behind him this year is ridiculous.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
it's a bummer. And talking about the series and the postseason for the Padres, the one thing that I said, that can't happen, I can't fathom it. I can't deal with it if it were to happen, is the Padres to go out quietly. I just can't fathom that happening.
You can't fathom it?
Well, I can. I'm just saying
you don't want it.
It would be hard for me to process because, watching this team, they have struggled this year. There's no doubt about it. But if they were to go down like they did today, 3-1, and then tomorrow, say 4-1, I'd be like, what the hell?
Oh, I'll help you process it.
I know you will.
Because I watched the 2024 postseason.
I know.
And the way it finished, that was different. They played more games.
But they didn't go out.
No, they punched. They beat the Braves.
The way they went out was different if they lose tomorrow 4-1.
No, I agree. But
because it happened so quickly.
I can fathom it, unfortunately. the fathom exists for me. I can fathom it. I just hope we don't see it. And I hope the Padres get off to a fast start. And today, I thought it was a perfect start. They scored. They led. Pivetta was great.
Yeah.
You're in the 5th inning.
Great start.
It's 1-0. You have the full complement of your bullpen. And I don't want to hear, oh, they should have gone to the bullpen after Seiya Suzuki's home run. No, they shouldn't. Why? Guy was absolutely dealing. You're going to go to your bullpen right there. He had retired 11 consecutive Cubs. Unless a solo home run, you're going to go to your bullpen there?
No.
That's a little egregious. Like, that's aggressive. So, of course, he's going to get another batter. By the way, to Shill's credit, he allows another home run. Keeps him out there. Strikeout, strikeout, strikeout. I thought they handled it fine.
I thought they handled it fine, too. I mean, some guys, after giving up home runs, completely implode. Nick Pivetta did not implode. Now, he did give up another solo shot, but it's not like he gave up after that like a single and then walk. Like, he went out and struck out 3 consecutive. He struck out the side.
He had a 2-run inning. Wow. It's going to happen.
Yeah. Padres today, the blame of this game goes on their offense once again. It goes on their offense for their inability to get a runner home on third base with less than 2 outs. Early in that game, by the way. That is where the blame goes for the loss today. Schilt, look, you can talk about Schilt and his lineup and having 3 straight lefties in there and playing right into Craig Counsell's hand, right? Okay.
Yeah, but that's more organizational too. You think that didn't go across AJ Preller's desk? I don't. I think AJ Preller has a hand in it.
I'm just saying, like, if you wanted to go down that route, okay. But I'm telling you, the main reason for today's loss and what you should be focusing your frustration with this team is the inability to get a runner home with less than 2 outs in that game when it should have been 3-0 before Pivetta gave up that home run to Seiya Suzuki.
Yeah, like Mike Schultz lineup change. You want to know why? Because Ramon Laureano broke his finger.
Yeah.
So, like, he doesn't control that. We said that was an awful time for an injury, and it could have been the difference in a game like this. So that was significant. By the way, credit Freddie Fermin for catching Nick Pivetta today for the first time this year. And that the whole battery thing was not even a topic of conversation.
No.
So that worked fine. The Elias Diaz not being available, again, maybe not ideal because he's caught Pivetta all year, but that was not a storyline. The bench wasn't a story. Carrying Martin Maldonado, carrying Luis Campusano, none of that's a story.
No.
If you want to make the lineup a story, I would make the story Ramon Laureano breaking his finger. Because all 5, you're going to have 5 left-handed bats in that lineup tomorrow as well. Even if Shota Imanaga comes in and pitches 5 innings in relief.
Yeah. And I don't know what the Cubs are going to do for tomorrow, like what their plan is. But, to start off the game, Singer, Baller, and Kittredge to get
the righties.
Get the righties. And then I'm sure they're going to their lefties. And then, I don't know what they're going to, I don't know what their full plan is, but bullpen day against a team that went 14 up, 14 down against the bullpen. Like, all right, see what happens.
Do we have YouTuber Frank on the line? All right, we do. 877-767-4760. If you want to call in, we're with you until 6 p.m. If you want to react to this Padres game 1 loss in Chicago, 877-767-4760. In 5 minutes, we're giving away Aztec tickets for Friday night. Frank wants to weigh in. Frank, you're on with Jon and Jim.
All right. Well, it's good to hear you guys. It's like the Padres can win tomorrow. We can. We just need to produce some runs and actually hit with runners in scoring position. It's like we could do this. We can.
Make sure you turn your YouTube down, Frank.
Oh, sorry.
Turn your YouTube down. There you go. Turn the radio. There we go. All right. Now, what else you got? You got a point here?
Well, yeah. I mean, is this okay? I can talk about anything you want me to talk about.
Frank, we appreciate you calling. Frank. Keep watching on YouTube.
Yeah, keep watching on YouTube.
Listen, he had a Jim fact, which was they can score runs and they'll need to score runs to win the game. I mean, listen, we'd love to hear from you. 877-767-4760.
Oh boy.
It's a long day.
It's a long
right?
day. I get it. But still. Yeah.
It is a very low. What have you I'm looking at the comments. Yes, it's been a long day.
Even Frank's like, what a crazy call. Yeah, you think?
Wait, did Frank say what a crazy call?
Dude. Oh, man.
Best call of the day.
Best call of the day right there.
That is the best call of the day. That summarizes it well. Padres need to score to win.
Yeah, they need to score and need to hit with runners in scoring position.
All right, so Padres lose 3-1. Coming up tonight, by the way, Dodgers-Reds, Dodger Stadium, in one of a 3-game series. But coming up tomorrow, more importantly, is game 2 of this series, Padres and Cubs at 12:08. Dylan Cease on the mound for San Diego. Why don't we do this right now?
What do we want to do?
Let's give away Aztec tickets.
Okay.
Let's give away Aztec tickets.
There we
Actually,
go.
first we may have a caller. I don't know if it's for the Aztec tickets or not.
Frank, if it's Frank again, we can't take Frank anymore. Sorry. Sorry, we're done.
Just keep watching.
Just keep watching, and we enjoy you being a loyal watcher of the show.
Are we getting calls for Aztec tickets right here? We are. All right, 877-767-4760. Caller 7. You're going to see the Aztecs against Colorado State on Friday night at 7:30. 2 free tickets. Tickets are available at goaztecs.com. While people call for the Aztec tickets, let's get Sarah on the line. Sarah on line 1, thanks for calling in. You're on with Jon and Jim.
Hi, Jon and Jim. How are you guys?
How are you?
Good.
Good. So a few things.
Yeah.
First, I feel like they're taking like a vacation. Like I was looking at Ariah's Instagram and he's posting like at midnight that he's out at dinner. This is not a vacation. Like I need them to focus. Another thing is that they need to play with urgency. And also, yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. I feel like they really need to lock in. On the positive side, though, most of the series they've played in, they've lost the first game and won the next 2. So I still have faith. I think we can make a good turnaround.
All right. Thank you, Sarah, for the call.
I mean, you should have faith. I mean, I'm always amazed at people like season's over. Like, well, is it? I mean, we'll see. Wait for the season to be over. Like you can wait. If the season's over, we'll learn that in the next day or 2. But the season isn't over as of yet.
No, there's still 27 outs to play with.
And I don't have a problem with Bogarts posting on Instagram. I mean,
Rise.
These guys listen.
Gotta go
Bogarts,
eat.
They're gonna figure it. Bogarts at 2 hits.
Now, if I find out that one of them had tortellini pizza, then we're gonna have a problem here.
I had tortellini pizza. Maybe I jinxed this whole thing.
It's your problem.
All right. People are calling right now for Aztec tickets. We have another giveaway later this hour. We're reacting to the Padres Game 1 loss in Chicago here until 6 p.m. More of your calls and texts, 877-767-4760 or 70470. Start your message with the word team. This is Jon and Jim, San Diego Sports 760 and live on the iHeartRadio app. All right, Jon and Jim, we continue to react to the Padres game 1 loss.
It's been a feisty day.
It has been feisty. We are here for you. Our phone lines are open, 877-767-4760. We do have another giveaway for you. We'll do between now and 5:45. We have a pair of tickets to see Judas Priest and Alex Cooper. Not Alex, Alice. At the North Island Credit Union Amphitheater
Alex
on
Cooper's
Saturday,
caller daddy.
October 8th. It'd be interesting if it was Alex Cooper with Judas Priest. That would be a
Alex
story.
Cooper tickets.
That'd be a story. That'd be quite the combo. We have Judas Priest and Alice Cooper. North Island Credit Union Amphitheater, Saturday, October 18th. We'll give those away between now and 5:45.
A lot of low-scoring games today. 2-1 here in New York. Crochet's through 7, 9 strikeouts.
Red Sox lead 2-1.
2-1 in Cleveland today. Tigers taking a 1-0 series lead. 3-1. Could have easily been a 2-1 game in Chicago today with the Cubs and Padres.
Dude, if I was doing a Guardians wrap-up show,
and
we
gosh.
put a runner on third with nobody out in the 9th inning in a 1-run game at home, us Guardians.
Yeah, I'm firing everybody.
So I'm mad. Listen, this Padres thing wasn't good, but Scooble shoved. You still could have won that game.
Yeah.
You had a runner third to tie it up at home with no one out in the 9th inning.
Dude, I didn't watch the entirety of that inning unfold, but seeing how you had a runner at third and a guy goes on contact and you get him in a rundown and you get him out there. Holy dude. That's brutal.
Brutal way to lose a game. Now they're at home. The advantage the Guardians have down 1 game as opposed to the Padres is they're home. And the Tigers obviously have not played well. Yes, they threw well behind Scooble, or they played well enough behind Scooble, but Tigers have not played well. So the Guardians, I feel like the Guardians might be in a better spot than San Diego. They're at home, trailing 1-0.
You know, we always ask the question, who's the game 1 bigger for? You know, even though in the postseason it's like it's big for both teams, you idiot. But when you have Tariq Skubal and you look at the Tigers' record with Skubal on the mound this year compared to when he's not on the mound,
right?
Like you had to win that game if you're the Tigers. You get that pitching performance from Tariq Skubal today, 7 innings, or no, he went 8, right? Or
7 2/3.
7 2/3.
Yeah.
14 strikeouts. Dude was unhittable today. He was incredible.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you could not have lost that game, and they didn't.
Yeah, so we have a road winner in the Tigers, a home winner in the Cubs, a road team leading right now in the Bronx 2-1.
And
we have Dodgers Reds tonight.
You did say at least 2 road teams will win a series here in the opening wild card round.
I mean, I think last year 3 road teams moved on. Is that right? I don't know. It was the Padres, our home team, that won. But it's been a common theme these last 3 years. Road teams have been successful.
I think
in
you're
the
right.
wild card round.
I think you're right because the Mets won.
Yeah, we looked at it previously.
Tigers won. And who's the other in the American League?
I'll look it up.
Yeah, Tigers won. Mets won because they won in dramatic fashion in Milwaukee. Was it the Yankees? No, Yankees from the division round. They were.
I don't know who it was.
Okay. Who was it? Chat. Who was it?
Find it.
Put it in the chat.
2024.
Who won the wild card series last year? Padres, Tigers, Mets, and who else?
Royals, Tigers, Padres, Mets.
And who the Royals play?
Baltimore. They swept them 2 games to none
on the road.
By the way, 3 of those 4 series were 2 games. The only one that went 3 was Mets Brewers.
Now the Brewers lost game 1. They had to have because they had to have lost game 1. Yeah,
did they?
They did.
But I'm just looking in the history. The year before everything was 2-0. So hear me out. There's been in the last 2 years, 7 of 8 have been 2-game series, and going back to 2022. Hold on.
Okay.
10 of 12 all-time series have been 2-game series. Only 2 have gone 3.
Padres,
Mets, Padres, and then Mets Brewers.
Yeah. So yeah, Padres, Mets in 2022, Mets Brewers last year.
That's it. In 12 series, 2 have gone 3. Now I would expect one of these at least to go 3. That's just math.
Hope it's the Padres.
So Padres are going to need this thing to go 3 to move on. And I don't know how to feel. Like, what did we say heading into the postseason? Or how many times did we say this year? I don't really know who the Padres are. Like, what's
I know who they are.
Yeah, but I'm saying what describes them in what's a way to speak favorably on them? Like, what's them at their best? And I was like, I guess it's their bullpen. Like, what are the things you can say that you know about the Padres? You know that they have a strong bullpen, right?
Pitching.
Yeah, but not even pitching, because their rotation has let them down a lot.
They're just, there's not really many positive things to say about them as a road team. Home team's completely different. I can say a lot of positive things about this team about if they're at home.
True.
But when they're on the road, not many positive things I can say about them on as a road team, because they're 38 and 44 now, or 43. No, 44.
They're
at 38 and 44
on the road this year.
Yeah. Including today. Yeah,
they're going to have to buck some serious trends here. They can't win on the road. They're 1-6 in their last 7 road games. No team has ever won in their last 7 postseason games on the road. No team's ever come back from 1-0 down since 2022, since this format.
You mentioned 1-9 against playoff teams on the road this year.
They're 1-9 against playoff teams on the road. They're 1-10 against teams over 500 on the road in series this year. They have to buck some trends in a big way. They haven't won back-to-back games against the same opponent on the road this year. Playoff caliber opponent.
And Dylan Cease has 1 road win and a 5.58 ERA.
But other than that, again, there's reasons to be doubters. They need to go change that narrative. Like Manny, I'm looking at you. Like, go change it. And if not, people are going to hammer these points home all offseason, like me. People like me and Jim will hammer these points home all offseason. So go change the narrative.
And I really don't want to have an entire offseason if they go down tomorrow without a fight, or at least they go down tomorrow like 4-1 or 4-2.
Right.
Man, this offseason is going to suck, because it's like those 2 games, like,
Yeah, and don't expect, it's not like they're going to be in on all the
last year too.
They're not going to be in on the $400 million free agents all offseason.
No, and then we don't even know if Preller's going to return.
I didn't want to go there yet.
We won't go there.
I'm not going to go there as of yet.
I can tell you this, though. If they do go out tomorrow, that conversation, it's going to heat up.
The conversation will. I won't change my opinion, but the conversation will.
Yep.
All right, on the other side, we're giving away Judas Priest tickets. Plus, we're here until 6 p.m. More of your reaction, 877-767-4760, or text us, 70470. Start your message with the word team. Here until 6 p.m., reacting to the Padres' Game 1 loss in Chicago to the Cubs in the Wild Card Series. This is Jon and Jim.
All right, this update's brought to you by ParkWiz. Cubs beat the Padres today in game 1, 3-1. Game 2 tomorrow, 12:08 first pitch. Dylan Cease on the mound in an elimination game for the Padres. Looking around baseball right now, Red Sox and Yankees game 1 in the Bronx. Red Sox lead the Yankees right now 2-1 in the bottom of the 8th inning. Earlier this morning, Tigers beat the Guardians 2-1 to take a 1-0 series lead there. Then Dodgers Reds first pitch 6:08. It's about a half hour from now at Dodger Stadium. Hunter Green on the mound for the Reds against Blake Snell for the Dodgers. Parking shouldn't slow you down. ParkWiz gives every driver a shortcut. Book ahead, save up to 50%, and skip the hassle of circling the block. Park smarter, park faster, ParkWiz. Download the ParkWiz app today and save every time you park.
All right, Jon and Jim will give away these tickets to see Judas Priest with Alice Cooper coming up at the North Island Credit Union Amphitheater Saturday, October 18th. Not Alex Cooper.
No, not the Call Her Daddy host.
Quite the mashup.
Yeah.
But Alice Cooper and Judas Priest Saturday, October 18th. We'll give away tickets in about 10 minutes. Now, remember, this game was 2 hours long today.
And we talked about it for 4 hours.
And then we'll spend more time tonight on the wrap-up show.
I am impressed with us. Because
thank you.
Talking about a 2-hour game for 4 hours, and really in the game, how many moments were there to break down?
2. Because it's the Padres not scoring with the runner third, nobody out in the second. The Padres not scoring in the bunt situation.
We spent 4 damn hours on 2 moments.
Basically.
That's postseason baseball, man. And we've got a lot of reaction from you. If you want to call in, voice your frustrations, 877-767-4760 or text line. YouTube chat's open as well. If you want to watch us on YouTube, you can go over there. Jon and Jim, Sports 760 on YouTube. But 4 hours, talk about 2 moments in the game that are the most critical moments of the game.
Postseason baseball. Let's go back to the phones. Will, thanks for calling in. You're on with Jon and Jim.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Hey, Will.
What's up, man?
Hey, so I got 2 things. I think like one sort of negative and one sort of positive. One thing I've noticed about the Padres is that they sort of, in high pressure situations, I think a lot of people have said it, they kind of seem to freeze. They seem like deer in the headlights. But on the other hand, I think, that, what's his name? Dansby made 2 fantastic plays. And then throughout the rest of the game, I think our guys were making pretty solid contact. A lot of it was going straight to the defenders, outfielders. But I think if they can keep that up, get that intensity going, looking at the ball, maybe slow the pace down like Sandy was able to a little bit on each bat. Slow the pace down. Don't let these moments like fly by. I think they can maybe crack it open. Let's get a rally going. Let's root for our boys tomorrow.
Appreciate you, Will. I mean, I didn't think it was the worst at bats in baseball history. I didn't. There were some balls that were
absolutely. By the way, absolutely, we're gonna all root for the Padres tomorrow.
No, now I've changed my tune, man.
You're done.
I'm like Eddie Vedder. I'm
give me a Cubs hat.
Here's the thing, and that's why I don't like the "it's over" thought process. I don't like just saying it's over because it's not. We're all gonna watch tomorrow. When it's over, we'll know it's not over. Is it now unlikely? Is it harder? Yeah, of course it is.
The hill to climb is now steeper. That's how you look.
Hill.
It's a steep hill. It was already a steep hill to begin with, but now the climb has become very difficult.
Yeah, like all these trends are not good for the Padres.
No,
they need to turn them all around.
I would love to have a slew of stats pointing to why this series is going to go the Padres' way, but after losing game 1 and then everything we've talked about today, it's stacked against them. And they have to go out there and flip the switch and flip the narrative of how they've been a bad road team all year, how no team in the new wild card format after losing game 1 has come back to win the series, how Manny Machado has been awful in the postseason in his career. Mm-hmm. How Dylan Cease has been really bad on the road this season. What else you got? They're going to have to flip all of that on its head tomorrow, and for game 3 if they get there.
Yeah, it's a lot of work. Is it unlikely? Of course it is. I mean, they're not favored to win this series, but at the end of the day, I mean, are you serious? It's a best of 3 series. This is going to happen in baseball history. It's going to happen. It's going to happen this year. I bet one of the teams that loses game 1 this year, I bet one of the teams that loses game 1 wins the series. Maybe that's bold, but it's going to happen. We're not asking for the world. They're not down 3-0 in a best of 7 series.
By the way, just to switch gears just a little bit here, is Alex Cora going to pitch Crochet until his arm falls off?
How many pitches has he thrown?
116.
Wow.
and the ump just missed a strike 3
to
end the inning. And now it's a 3-2
Not in the
count.
inning. There's 1 out.
He's channeling his inner Dusty Baker.
Dude, I if I'm Garrett Crochet, I'm like, bro.
I mean,
116.
Is he going to go 150 to try to get the CG?
Bro, I mean, this has to be his last batter, right?
I don't know. I have no idea.
Maybe the Red Sox bullpen is just completely ass. I don't know.
Well, or maybe it proves our point, which is you better win game 1.
That's what it is. You
better not waste Scooble. You better not waste Crochet, and you better not waste Pivetta.
That's the thinking, and that's the thought process. The new wild card format is game 1 is so important to win a series.
Let me ask you a question.
What do you got?
Are you watching tonight?
Yeah, I think I will.
Yeah, I mean, I've watched all these other games.
Yeah, it won't bring me like satisfaction if let me take that back. It will bring me some satisfaction if I see the Dodgers lose tonight to the Reds.
It doesn't change the Padres situation, right?
100%.
Yeah.
Like they're in the same spot then.
Mm-hmm.
And the Dodgers would be in a little bit of a better spot because they're at least they're at home. So I'm looking at this and I'm like, even if the Dodgers lose tonight, I'm not going to sit there and be happy because, well, on the flip side, Padres lost today.
Right. It doesn't make that better. By the way, Crochet, to your point, his night is over. He just struck out his 11th batter. Look at some of these pitching performances today. 11 strikeouts from Crochet, 14 from Scooble, right? 9 from Pivetta in 5 innings. But Crochet's day is done. 2 outs in the 8th inning.
I need to see what the season high is for Crochet and pitches thrown. Because that was an incredible
performance. That's a big number. In today's baseball, 117 on the road in the playoffs. Some high leverage pitches.
All right, here we go. Hold on. How many did he throw? 117?
117.
Yeah, that's easy. That's a season high.
Easily?
His season high before tonight was June 1st, 112 pitches. Now he's thrown 100 pitches a lot this year. Let's see here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 appearances this year. He's thrown over 100 pitches.
Wow.
So it's not like this is like out of the blue for Garrett Crochet.
Remember the Mets, their first no-hitter or whatever, he threw like 150 pitches.
Who was
Remember
that?
Santana?
What's his name?
Santana.
Johan Santana.
He threw like 150. He was never the same after that.
Damn, Crochet's year. I'm sorry, I don't keep up with the Red Sox because American League.
Familiar with your game? We were familiar with this game.
I was.
Yeah.
Padres wanted to get Garrett Crochet,
right.
Remember?
They want to get everyone.
Well, maybe they should have got Garrett Crochet because this year he went 18-5 with a 2.59 ERA and 205 in the 3rd innings pitched, 255 strikeouts and a 1.03 WHIP in 32 starts.
18-5. Wow.
Is that good?
It's very good.
And 1 shutout on the year.
So he had finished off a game.
Career high in innings, career high in wins, career high for career low ERA, career high in strikeouts, had 255 strikeouts and 46 walks on the year.
A ridiculous year.
I think Boston leaving him in there for so long just puts more emphasis on how important winning game 1 in this series, in all these series are, especially
game
on the
1
road.
is everything in a 3-game set with all 3 games on the road. It is everything, especially to the road team. The road team, it's even more important.
It's more, I agree. That's the one. We said it so many times coming in. This was not rocket science. You couldn't squander the Nick Pivetta start. The only certainty was Pivetta. Because Cease is far from a certainty. Darvish is far from a certainty.
King, far from a certainty.
The only guarantee was you knew Nick Pivetta would give you a chance. And guess what? He did. Mm-hmm. He gave you a chance. And you didn't capitalize on it.
I can't say that Mike Schilt didn't manage with
urgency.
Here's the word, urgency today.
I thought he managed it fine.
Because he didn't let Pivetta go after 5. He went to the bullpen. And he went to the bullpen to keep it 2-1. Now, Jeremiah Estrada, he had a bad outing. And it's a pattern that has been with Jeremiah Estrada through September.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I'm not going to sit here and be like he didn't manage with urgency today, knowing how important game 1 is. it just all came down to the Padres offense was awful again.
Top 3 in the lineup 0 for 11. Left-handed batters 1 for 16. Squandered chances with men in scoring position. It adds up to a loss. Not on Mike Schild, really on the Padres.
Yeah.
Not on Mike Schild.
And it lines up to the hitters in that lineup today. The top 3 going 0 for 11. The lefties in the lineup going 1 for 16. Pathetic.
Yeah, I mean, that's really bad. And I know it's one game. Things can happen in one game, but that was nowhere near good enough, obviously, in this 3-1 loss. We'll continue to react. Text line is open, 70470. You can start it with the word team. You can call us, 877-767-4760. Again, 877-767-4760. We're here until 6 p.m. We did promise you these tickets. Call right now if you want them. A pair of tickets to see Judas Priest and Alice Cooper. North Island Credit Union Amphitheater, Saturday, October 18th. Caller 5, you are going. If you call right now, 877-767-4760. Pick up the phone and call right now. More post-game reaction after this on Jon and Jim. All right, so we are watching Red Sox Yankees, and the Red Sox lead through 8 innings 2-1. There was a near disaster for the Red Sox on a fly ball to right center that somehow was caught by the right fielder stepping in front of whoever's playing center tonight. That could have been an absolute disaster, but the Red Sox lead through 8 at Yankee Stadium behind Garrett Crochet out of the bullpen. Aroldis Chapman, 2-1 Red Sox through 8 in game 1.
Listen to this stat. Okay. Garrett Crochet's 117 pitches tonight are the most in a postseason game since Steven Strasburg, who also threw 117 pitches in game 3 of the 2019 NLCS.
2019, you're going way back.
Now, Strasburg, his arm blew up after that postseason run. He basically sacrificed his career to win a World Series with the Nationals. But if I were to ask you, would you sacrifice your career if it meant to win a World Series and be World Series MVP?
Yeah, because look at my career.
And he also, well, yeah, you're a baseball player. He also got paid for what he did and never really pitched ever again.
Yeah, I mean, he was amazing that postseason. And the goal, of course, at the end of the day is to win a World Series.
Yep.
Here's what's amazing about Crochet, though. Nobody's getting that chance. This is 6 years after Strasburg. Now nobody even gets a third time through the order.
I'm shocked.
And he's out there 3-4 times through an order tonight.
117. And didn't he have Tommy John surgery like 2 years ago or something?
This is what the whole year is about, isn't it? You know, this is kind of the point. These are the spots you need to perform in.
I think he did, because remember last year?
Yes, I do remember.
He was on an innings limit.
That's right.
And that was kind of one of the reasons why the Padres didn't go trade for him.
Yeah, because the second half they were using him in like short stints or even out of the bullpen.
I remember the start that he made against the Padres late last year here in San Diego. He only pitched like 4 innings.
Mm-hmm.
He was incredible.
Yeah, his stuff was so good.
I was like, whoa.
I mean, his career numbers, you mentioned, his numbers are awesome. This guy's been awesome. 26 years old.
This year, yeah.
This year, his career, he's got a sub-3 ERA in his career.
But look at the innings pitched. He hasn't pitched over 140-something innings until this season.
Right. Well, whatever. The guy has electric stuff, and that was, you mentioned his numbers this year, but I mean, it doesn't get bigger than this. You're at Yankee Stadium, and you throw 117 pitches, and you go through their lineup 3 times.
Yeah. And it just, as we keep saying, game 1, man, it's so critically important. Now we'll see how these series play out. If all game 1 winners
win
their series, then it will just put even more emphasis on going forward how important game 1 is in a best of 3 wild card series.
Let me put it this way. I like the 3-game series over the 1-game series.
Love the 3-game series over a 1-game
series.
It's
a 1-game series. We're talking about the offseason right now.
Yeah, I would hate a 1-game playoff series.
I absolutely despised it in real time. I absolutely despise that.
Yep, give me a
good drama. It was a good television show. You gotta watch.
I think they have it. They've done it right. Like, this is the format going forward for the foreseeable future. Don't add any more postseason teams.
No, we don't need more.
You're getting teams in with 83 wins. Like, this is it. And I do like the format because, excuse me, getting choked up here.
Yeah. This format's so good, man.
It's so good.
I love this format.
Because for at least games 1 and game 2, we get baseball all day long. That's great.
It is true. And then you get day 3. There have been years without a day 3.
Yeah, but then the division series starts right away this weekend.
Yeah, Friday will be an off day in baseball, and then division series start Saturday.
Yeah, and you got Thursday night football where the Niners are going to get their ass kicked by the Rams. You can hear that game right here on San Diego Sports 760. Friday night here in San Diego, you got Colorado State, San Diego State at Snapdragon Stadium. Hopefully we get a insane Padres comeback victory in this series, where then they would be on the road in Milwaukee on Saturday.
Oh, bring it all on. Bring that Niners get their ass kick game to San Diego Sports 760.
I'm not exaggerating when I say this. The Niners are going to lose on Thursday night by multiple touchdowns. Easily.
I thought you were going to say like 80.
No, by book it. Like minimum, they're going to lose by 17 points. It is going to be a beatdown. Niners suck. And not only do they suck, they're all injured. Not a good combination.
Let me tell you how much I care.
This much, 0. I'm pulling up the 0. No,
hold on. I got some Padres notes from Jeff Sanders that have just been published.
What about Kevin? Kevin just posted something.
Maybe that's what I'm reading.
Probably.
Maybe that's what I'm reading. Was that Kevin that posted it?
Yeah, Kevin just posted something.
What did he post?
He said he posted a quote. We definitely had opportunities.
You think?
Padres backs up against the wall after losing wild card series opener. Now, Jeff Sanders did post something that was 7 hours ago. Are you looking at a 7 hour ago
No,
thing?
I'm looking at something that was published at 5:30 Pacific.
Yeah, that was Kevin.
No, it's from Jeff Sanders.
It's from maybe Kevin posted
he
Jeff
linked
Sanders
to Jeff's article. Bud.
All right, what do you got? I don't care who wrote it. What do you got?
I'm looking.
I
mean, I don't know. I want something.
Is there
That's my
anything
point.
profound that has come out of the Padres clubhouse that we haven't heard already?
Mason Miller was reliever of the month.
Okay, great.
Yuki Matsui is now maybe this was from before the series.
Are you serious? That was from 7 hours ago.
At it. It says 5:30. Yeah, Diaz is not on the roster.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
Who's catching?
Hey, this is a big star for Pivetta, it says.
Who's catching Pivetta today?
They're going to go with Fermin.
Right, Fermin? Nice.
Yeah. Have you seen the lineup? I don't know. Yeah, I think I'm reading something from earlier.
There's nothing else to hear out of that clubhouse.
You heard from Manny.
Yeah,
you heard from Schulte.
You don't need to hear from Manny again because he doesn't really bring much to the table.
We heard from Merrill.
Same thing with Merrill. You don't really need to hear much from Merrill because it's just going to piss you off when he gives his explanation of why he bunted. At least it pissed me off.
By the way, I'm reading an article from Marquee Sports Network that said back in April, Daniel Palencia asked Manny Machado for a signed jersey. And today,
struck him out.
He strikes him out and shoves in an inning and 2/3, 5 up, 5 down. Life comes at you fast. That's where the Padres are right now. I am fascinated by what the Padres do with Cease tomorrow and how the Cubs treat their pitching situation because they're starting with essentially an opener.
Kittredge.
In Andrew Kittredge?
Andrew Kittredge.
Who pitched today. So he's not going more than 3-4 batters, obviously. And then what is Dylan Cease doing? I mean, is Dylan Cease going to have a chance to go 5 innings like Nick Pivetta today? Mm-hmm. Or is he like an inning and 2/3 and see you later once a man reaches base and you go right to Michael King or whoever else in your bullpen?
Kittredge this year, 53 innings pitched, 3.4 ERA, 64 strikeouts, sub-1 whip. His last 7 appearances, 2.57 ERA, 13 strikeouts and 7 innings pitched in his last 7 appearances. Obviously, he had a strikeout today. Yeah, they're having him in there because he's a sinker ball pitcher, and against the righties, they're probably gonna want to have him face, obviously Toddy and Manny.
Mm-hmm.
But it's going to be interesting to see what Mike Schilt does tomorrow with the lineup because he doesn't know really what the direction of the Cubs is going to be with their bullpen.
Right. Do they go to a long man at any point or do they just navigate inning by inning? Like does Imanaga go 4 innings tomorrow or is it an inning followed by an inning followed by an inning, so on and so forth with their bullpen?
Yeah. So how is he going to make his lineup out?
Does he break it up from the 3 lefties the next day?
My guess, knowing Mike Schilt,
no,
probably not.
Right.
The stubbornness with him will continue.
And again, he wouldn't have done it if not for the Laureano injury.
Of course, yeah. That's the whole thing.
That's the whole story.
That's the whole story with the lineup construction.
I mean, the injuries that they suffered late, and nobody's going to want to hear about it, but Jason Adam and Ramon Laureano.
But are those two players winning you game 1?
Maybe. That's the point. Yes. I think Laureano breaking up the lefties, hitting with men at third and less than 2 outs. I would love him appearing in a game like this, and Jason Adam appearing in a game like this would have been an inevitability.
You're probably right.
So
it
yeah,
would have made
a difference.
It would have made a difference. I don't know if it made the difference, but it would have made a difference.
That's the thing. A difference.
But look, no excuses, dude. No excuses. They still got enough in their lineup, in their rotation, and in their bullpen. No excuses, even with the loss of Adam and Laureano. Sorry.
Except the excuses I just made. All right, let's talk about it tonight.
I refuse to take those excuses.
We're going to talk about tonight for 1 full hour, probably longer than that. Join us at 9:30 tonight on YouTube. Search for the wrap-up show. We'll do 4 hours tonight, beginning at 9:30. If you missed anything today, go to sportssd.com or the iHeartRadio app or iTunes or TuneIn Radio or Spotify. Let's do it all again tomorrow. Full reaction. Will they live to see a game 3 or not? Or does the long off season begin tomorrow afternoon? Join us tomorrow at 2 p.m. right here on San Diego Sports 760. All right, for Brent and Jim, I'm John. Keep it here. This is San Diego Sports 760.
Okay, bye.
Bye-bye. See you tonight.